All right. Make sure my microphone is turned up. Microsoft really likes to change that. Windows operating system is a sight to behold. Yep. Drop my voice down, made me quiet. Still don't understand that. Whatever. All right, it's good though. And I'm gonna go over, make sure that the sound I'm recording, drop my voice down, made me quiet. Still don't understand that. Whatever. Yeah, it looks like Twitch is good. And then after that, or I guess that's YouTube. And then let's look at Twitch real quick. Alright, see. Alright, see. Yep. Okay. Alright, see. Yep. Okay. That looks like we're good. Alright, see. Yep. Okay. That looks like we're good. Alright, see. Yep. Okay. That looks like we're good. Yep. Looks like we're good. Alright. 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 I think I am ready. I think I am ready. I think I am ready. What's up, guys? I'm the Blue Titan, and welcome back to another episode of Darkest Dungeon. I'm the Blue Titan, and welcome back to another episode of Darkest Dungeon. I'm the Blue Titan. A little behind the scenes. A little behind the scenes. I never shut myself off over here. Let's try that again. What's up, guys? I'm the Blue Titan, and welcome back to another episode of the Darkest Dungeon. So the last time we were here, we played through mostly the Crimson Courtyard. It was a lot of slow roaming through this epic long quest, and we did make a long, or I guess a large percentage of that mission, I think, is probably completed just by looking at the size of what we did. And we actually made 3 trips there. Each time we made it through a little further and a little further. We had relatively a successful average 3 trips. One of them was a little harsher than the other 2. And we ended up finding the red key, which did get us through. Actually, we never used the red key. We found a sneaky route around one of the areas. So that's going to be interesting to see where we actually go with that. So, hey, Cole. So I'm not really sure yet what we're going to do, if we're going to go right back to the Crimson Courtyard or not yet, because I haven't looked at my team or anything like that in the last week. It's been a little while since I looked at them. But just doing a cursory look over who's on my squad right now, we have 4 people here that are Crimson Cursed. Nobody else? That's actually not that bad. It's relatively manageable. And if you missed the end of the last episode, we went to the Crimson Courtyard. I guess I should say this. We went there 4 times. 3 to the main mission, once just to go get a winery reserves mission knocked out. Because if you look at the missions at this location, there's the primary location, which you can tell is the primary mission at that location because it has these blood droplets under the icon. None of the other locations have the little blood droplets. This one has it because it's specific. It's letting you know that that is the mission that progresses that storyline. Unlike these other missions where you have to beat a boss to progress the area, this one you just have to do the one that's marked with the blood icon. Don't ask how I know that. The answer, honestly, is just from experience having played it. But you can also see here, just looking at the names of these things, it says here Morbid Entertainment. The rest of them always say Gather the Blood as a mission type. Gather the Blood is a recurring mission type only at the courtyard. It never falls out. There's always, this mission is always there every week. And that's because this is the mission that if you need blood, you go do it really quickly. One mission there successful is, I think it's a guarantee of 9 blood. Because you'll find a winemaker's reserves like box on the ground, and each one of them has 3 blood in it, and you have to find 3 of those before the mission ends. So you can even walk out of there with more than that. So if you're ever in need of blood, which, you know, we've been fortunate and intentional, like with dropping those people for a while, then you're actually not that bad. You're not that, you know, it's not that bad of a thing to just run in there and do that. I was just avoiding it because since we didn't have a critical mass of people to do it, I only had like 1 or 2 people. I didn't want to bring 2 more people in there with me ahead of time to then give them the Crimson Curse and ask for pain for no reason, right? Until I had 4 people, I wasn't going to go in there because I didn't want to run a risk of our people catching it. There's just no reason for it. So we did go in there and we walked out of there, I believe, with quite a bit of blood. I don't think we can do this mission with these guys, though. Is that right? They're all level... Oh, no, they're all level 1. I'm not actually going in to do this mission. I just want to show you what I'm talking about. We walked out. Now we have 9 blood. We had 0. Now we have 9. Yeah, so we have quite a bit there. And that's, like I said before, one person that's got the Crimson Curse, they need blood about, on average, once every 3 weeks. So, you know, do some quick math there. If you've got 3 people, that's 1 blood per week. So we got 4 people. We've got a lot of blood for a long time. We aren't being pressured right now to go in and do any of those missions. And once you realize that carryover, or once you realize that rate of, you know, how much you consume blood wise, you'll realize that it's really not that big of a deal to just not go do it or not go gather blood if you don't need it. It's not that big of a deal to have the Crimson Curse. It's a little annoying at times because it adds unexpected stress if you're bringing that person with you, and it can also be annoying because they'll have act outs where they don't want to be healed, or they randomly attack your own teammates, almost like they are afflicted, like they've hit 100 stress cap. So that can become annoying. But just having the illness by itself, I don't think is bad. In fact, actually, if you play it right, you can actually use it to your advantage, which we saw in a previous mission where our leper had the Crimson Curse and he got really thirsty and he was freaking out, and then we found blood right before he actually hit craving, and we gave it to him, and then he became bloodlusted, and then he had a 25%, you know, additional attacks modifier, which helped us just crush a boss. So just one of the things that I would say about this game that, you know, I really love is that almost every single downside usually is an opportunity. And we even saw that in the last episode when we lost our flagellant, right? The flagellant died and then actually gave everybody on our team like a temporary buff, like healed people, stunned the opponents, right? Now that's an extreme example because that's kind of how he's built. But there are other things to say too, like, you know, whenever you start to kind of get weaker, you start to kind of learn more about what you can push and what you can pull. If you only have 3 people left in your team surviving, you might even push a little further to kind of see, I want to say limit test your team. That way later on down the road, if that happens against a boss, you know what your output is and what your capacity is for like strength and stuff. So I don't usually see it as like a super big deal if I lose a character. And that's what I said. No, we lost 2 characters. We lost 2 characters in the last episode. And if you don't have the mental stamina to like lose a character and be like, all right, it's just a character, this game can really mess with you. But it also is super rewarding because that makes it all that more fun whenever you finally do win, despite getting, you know, slammed multiple times, despite the odds. So, but anyway, that's enough sales pitch for this game. I don't think I have to sell anybody that's watching this on it. It's a great game. So what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to kind of give a quick look at my team. I'm going to guess right now that I'm going to be doing a level or a green tier mission. The reason for that is because we've got two cohorts of people on this team right now. Almost everybody is either level 3 or they're like level 0 or 1, and we really need to level up what I call that freshman class, right? The guys that are just entering into the team, into the roster, because we need to have a considerable cohort of guys to rely on in order to go defeat green tier bosses like the Insulate Flesh. Now, there's not a lot of those left. I think this might actually be the last guaranteed one. But the thing about it is, don't think because you beat all the bosses at the lower tier missions don't still have use. The lower tier missions are like a guaranteed safe place to fall back to whenever you need just a little bit of money to kind of get you set back up in case you wipe your entire hoard of cash on some good item, or if you just need a relaxed week where you can let your guys lock a few quirks or something like that. Green tier missions are great, especially like as filler missions between, they're like filler episodes in like an anime, if you know what I'm talking about there, like between the big arcs, the ones that are actually more like serious and meaningful. So what I'm going to go do is step back here real quick and see. I think I already looked at these at the end of last week. Yeah, the end of last week. End of last gameplay video, which was last week in game. In real life, actually, I think it was Sunday we played. I looked at these items and I said that there wasn't anything in here I was interested in. We're just really not interested in common tier items anymore, or I guess I should technically say trinkets. I have a tendency to call them items. We aren't really interested in common tier trinkets anymore. There's better stuff out there. We've gotten some really good stuff. Although we do need to remember that we did lose the Ancestor's Candle, so hopefully sometime this week or next week or the next few weeks, I don't want to lose anybody, but if we do lose somebody, there's an upside, right? Because if we die and lose items, we can go and recover our lost items from the bird. I forget its name. The Shrieker. That's right, the Shrieker. But I don't want to lose people, so it's kind of a, you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. I really don't want to do that. So yeah, the last time we were here, we were looking at these folks, and one of the people I said was interesting was Canoville. I mean, it could be Canuvali. But this character, I think, is actually interesting because Thick-Blooded is actually a pretty solid ability. Thick-Blooded is very strange in this character too, though, because the Leper class already begins with a high level of Blight Resist base. He starts with 40%. A lot of classes in the game start the game off, like let's say I look at the Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter starts off with 30% Blight Resist, 30% Bleed Resist. That's kind of the common basic combination that you see in most characters. There are some characters like, say for example, the Shield Breaker, who starts with 20% Blight Resistance, and over here, I guess 30% bleed resist, but gets a minus 10% because she has the anemic quirk, which brings her back down. Some characters start with lower amounts, but it's very interesting to see that some characters, these are those idiosyncratic little things that people don't pay a lot of attention to when they first playing through the game, and we haven't talked about at all, which is these class-specific bonuses. It's so strange to think the Leper really is protected against blight at base, and then he happens to have Thick-Blooded in addition to that, so he has a 50% chance to not get affected by blight, but he has only a 10% chance to not bleed. So he's probably going to get bled if he gets hit. Is the Shrieker only in your DLC? The Crimson Courtyard and the Farmstead? No, I believe the Shrieker is core to the base game. I correct me if I'm wrong on that. Maybe somebody else could tell me that. I'm looking at the chats here. I think the Crimson Courtyard adds almost entirely content specific to the Crimson Courtyard, as well as the Fanatic, who's a roaming boss, and I believe the Farmstead only adds the Farmstead location and then the roaming boss called the Thing from the Stars. The base game, of course, having the Shambler as its roaming boss. It also has one other one we haven't even run into yet, which is kind of funny that we haven't seen him yet. We will eventually. But as far as the Shrieker's concerned, I believe the Shrieker is in the core base game. We just haven't seen it, and you might not see it either until you have been unfortunate enough to have lost, I think it's 8+ items. I think it's 8+ trinkets. You have to have lost, I think, 8. Once you've lost 8, then I think you'll end up with the opportunity to go and do a Shrieker mission, and then I think it's just static, always available down here in the Weald. And then you can go do it, and then after you beat the Shrieker, if then you do beat the Shrieker, you will be awarded from your list of lost items since the start of your playthrough, a random set of 8 of them taken from the upper echelon of those items. I believe that's how it works. That sounds like a very specific thing to say for somebody who doesn't know, but I'm saying I am going off of my memory of that. I'm pretty sure you have to hit 8, and I know for sure that you do get to you don't get to select items. It just gives you a selection of the items from the upper echelon of the ones that you've dropped in your explorations or your dungeons. But we don't have that yet, which is good and bad. The bad thing is we don't get access to the Ancestor's Candle for a while again, which I really like as an item. The good thing is we don't have to. But the good thing is we haven't died enough times for that to matter, really. We did lose a lot of guys, though. It's kind of interesting, because if you look at how many people we've lost since the beginning, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people. Now, that doesn't mean that we've lost 10 items, right? It might be the case that the first few people we lost... How did we lose these people again? Week 3? Well, we certainly could have had no items on this character, but these other characters, 17, 17, 17, we would have had items on these characters. I'm assuming. Maybe the Sonorous Prophet. When we lost 3 people against the Sonorous Prophet. I'm sure if we went back and watched that we had items. So I don't know. I'd have to look that up. I guess I could. When does the Shrieker appear? Darkest Dungeon. I felt like it was 8 items. After you lose 8 trinkets with dead heroes or in town activities, the Shrieker will appear on the map next week to get your lost treasures back. This event... Where'd it go? This event can happen after week 42. Oh wait, no, that's a different event. I'm sorry, this event will stay on the map until you clear it. The difficulty of the event depends on the highest rarity of the trinket and the rewards. What week is it for us? Well, that's saying week... No, the Thief in the Night event was a specific event. Yeah, the Thief in the Night is the event I talked about before. There was like a Shrieker's Feather item or something like that. And we haven't seen that. What week is this? You're saying, does the Shrieker get harder each time you do the mission? No. The Shrieker is just like any other mission. It will have a tier, like a rarity, like a green, orange, or red, leveled basically to your team's average, kind of like all these other missions. What week is this? This is only week 38. Maybe it is also the same story. Maybe after week 48 too. Maybe it's also 42. See, here in the wiki it says Appearance. The Shrieker can appear in 3 following different events. During a Thief in the Night event, when the Shrieker steals 8 random trinkets from your inventory. During the Shrieker's Prize event, which we saw that already. And this can happen anytime after week 15. And then there's, I guess I didn't say the Thief in the Night where he steals like 8 random items. That can happen anytime after week 42. It can only happen once. And only once, and will be available on the map until you clear it. Okay. And then there's also after you lose 8 trinkets with dead heroes in the town and activities, the Shrieker will appear on the map next week to get your lost treasures back. This event will stay on the map until you clear it. The difficulty of the event will depend on the highest rarity trinkets and the rewards. Oh, well. There you go. I was wrong. I was thinking it was leveled to your characters, and I guess I spoke with total conviction on something. I was just take my foot out of my mouth real quick there. Apparently, it's based on the tier of the items, which makes a lot of sense actually, though, because if all of your characters that died only had junk items, it doesn't make a lot of sense that your guys that are super high level would have to go, and that makes sense. Yeah, I can see that. He's leveled based upon how, like, I guess how motivated he is to keep your items. That's funny. All right, so looking at our comp, though, I just want to go level these characters. I've got 4 level 1s. This is kind of I'd call it my current dream team squad that I would want to bring if I was going to go fight against the Insulate Flesh. And I'm going to be honest with you, there's a part of me that almost wants to just go fight them as we are. Because, realistically, like, I think this comp is pretty solid already for fighting against him. The only serious downside of this comp is that they're not level 2s. Yeah, maybe we should just take it. Let's just play carefully. I'm going to go through and do a regular Warren's mission with these guys real quick. When I say dream comp, what I mean is I have a healer and then I have a bunch of guys that can deal bleed damage, like huge amounts of damage, can attack multiple targets. See, the thing about the Flagellant is he's best in class bleeder as a character, and the thing about the Hellion is she's best in class reach character. She can reach the back line, she can reach the middle 2, and she can reach the front line. She can hit any spot, and she has the ability to bleed, which is really good against the Insulate Flesh, because Insulate Flesh takes up 4 slots. Also back to that point here, the Flagellant bleeds, but he can also bleed the back 2 slots and reach the front slot. And then, of course, you've got Mr. Highwayman, and the Highwayman just is like one of the best characters in the game when it comes to just dealing huge amounts of damage to multiple targets. And so his Great Shot Blast can just hit 3 parts of the flesh. Now the Hound... no Houndmaster. To answer your question, the Houndmaster is the best character against Insulate Flesh. There is no character better. And to your point, I don't think I have a Houndmaster on my squad that is level 2 or level 1, which is the problem. I can't do anything about that. I just don't happen to have it. Almost all of I think I have one Houndmaster that's level 3 one. He happened to out-level it. We had to bring him for a few other missions, and so he over-leveled. But we could also just keep a close eye on the shop and see if we get another Houndmaster in here. Maybe it'll work out, because we do have the chance of rolling a level 1, so we'll keep an eye on that in the next few weeks. But it's not that big a deal if we don't get a Houndmaster. I mean, he's really good against him, but we also have a pretty good comp against him already. I'm not really worried about the comp that we have. I just need to get him leveled up a little. But that's a good question. Yeah. I do believe... there is probably not a better character in the game to fight against the Insulate Flesh than the Houndmaster. The question is, the Insulate Flesh has multiple different forms that are all randomly manifesting while you're fighting it, and I don't know whether any of them, particularly there's one with really high armor or protection. I don't know if any one specific one in that group has high resistant to bleed. I would assume no, because that's the whole gimmick at that location. But if then there was, and that would obviously make Hound's Harry, which is the AoE 4 attack one. Hound's Rush is the single target one, I believe. Hound's Harry would be a little weaker, because, in that case, I'm able to do level 1 missions with level 3 heroes. See, that's what I was talking to somebody about. Like, I don't know if that's... Okay, so... I'm going to look this up for you really quickly, because I want to know now, too. That might be because you're on Radiant difficulty. I'm looking right now. Levels 0 through 4 can do apprentice missions, while levels 3 through 6 can do veteran missions. Oh, this is old. That's 7 years ago. There's got to be a table on here. That's like how you... Okay, experience needed for each mode. Oh, yeah. On Radiant, yep. On Radiant level difficulty, level 1s can do... resolve experience. Oh, that's to level up. Where's it at? Maybe I should just read this a little bit more here. Additionally, the prices for stress relief go up. We know that. I guess I should start at the top. In Darkest Dungeon, Normal, and Stygian difficulty campaigns, heroes will join expeditions with the resolve level when there is... Okay. Here it is. In the Darkest, which is the Normal, and Stygian difficulty campaigns, heroes will join expeditions when their resolve level is equal to or 1 greater than the expedition's level. Apprentice expeditions can be considered level 1, suitable for resolve level 0 and 1, and level 2 heroes. That's why we saw 0, 1, and 2 all available for lower level tiers. Because they kind of give you like an on-ramp. You can do level 0 missions or apprentice the green missions at level 0, 1, and 2. All 3 of those tiers can do it. Whoa, hold on. That's actually worth knowing. Because that means we can actually bring level 2s to go beat this... Oh, no, we already knew that. That's what I was just talking about doing, leveling my other 3 level... Never mind. Ignore me. I'm just... talking, I guess. But, then levels... It would be levels 3 and 4 could do the orange tier, and then levels 5 and 6 could do the higher tier. Veteran expeditions can be considered level 3, blah, 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 blah. If a hero's current resolve level exceeds the quest difficulty by 2 or more, they will refuse to be added to the party and will not embark on quests. In Radiant campaigns, however, these rules are relaxed. Okay, so it says... I said that, pointed at the screen, then lost where I was in the paragraph. Resolve level 3 and 4 can join apprentice expeditions, and Resolve level 5 and 6 heroes can join veteran expeditions. If Helping Hand event is in effect... Oh yeah, the Helping Hand is a town event that actually lets anybody of any level partake in any quest, which is also worth looking out for. Sometimes you can just absolutely destroy a boss with no worries at all by doing that. But I haven't had that happen yet. Are you not able to, or is it a preference for you? Google AI overview, back at it again. Wait, what? Oh, I wasn't using... I'm on the wiki right now. I have a plugin in my computer, or on my browser, that blocks Google AI overview because I hate it so much. I use AI every day for my job. I work with Claude, with Gemini, with ChatGPT, with Copilot. I work with some other lesser known ones like Genie, and I work with Comfy UI. I work with all kinds of stuff for like either my own personal hobbies as well as whatever, but I just don't really like the Google AI overview. I think a lot of times it just leaves a lot to be desired. And often I've seen it, you know, even if it's 1 out of every 10 times, it leaves something out incrementally, like, or I guess leaves out some piece of the detail. Like, I know enough about the topic, I'm like, that doesn't seem right. Go into the article and you're like, wow, they summarized it wrong. I don't currently trust it, and I don't mean that in some paranoid tinfoil hat way. It's more of like a verifiable fact way. It's like, that's just not true. And it wasn't but 2 years ago, I think, that they released their, was it Bard AI, that they asked it some questions on live on stage and asked it about something like, there was like a very big faux pas event where they were, like, Google lost like 15% of their stock value in 1 day because they went out, they were scrambling to get an AI model out after OpenAI had such a resounding successful, like, you know, first quarter funding or whatever, and everybody was like freaking out about, they didn't care about anything except for AI, and all the tech companies were trying to catch up, and Google comes in and they release Bard, and they were like, okay, we're gonna have this big showcase of what it can do, and then they asked it questions, and it like hallucinated 1 out of every like 10 answers. And they asked it for a bunch of facts, and it gave like fake answers for like something near 10 to 20% of the things. And the first like 8, if you randomly sampled it, a lot of them were verifiably accurate. But then there were just a few in there that seemed plausible, but were factually just totally wrong. And when you asked it, when you pressed on it, and you said, "Why did you say this? This is factually incorrect." It was like, "Oh, well, you were looking for like, you know, facts," and so it's like, "Did you make this up?" And it was like, "Well, I kind of embellished a little," and you're like. And I mean, it's already bad enough, you know. I could sit here and talk about the rabbit hole of how like this is probably going to affect school and stuff. I'm worried about how that's going to affect people, like kids and stuff. There's already a lot of evidence that it's affecting people's ability for reading, you know, reading retention and all the other stuff. Like, why would I want to learn how to write a paper or have a constructive argument or any of that when I could just ask ChatGPT? I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to say, like, I can talk about that for an hour. I just wish it would direct link its primary source. Oh yeah, Steven. Hey, Steven. Yeah, no, that's one of my bigger problems with AI in general, is that it's got, as a product, their goal is to sell competence and confidence and authoritative, like, voice. So as a product, AI is designed to look like it knows what it's doing over actually knows what it's doing, in the case where there's a disconnect between those two things. When in a situation where it knows the answer for sure, there's no problem. But when it doesn't know the answer, it would rather feign competence than say I don't know with conviction. And I really think there needs to be some form of like AI, like, you know, governance laws that change that. Like, and it can't just be some flat like penalty, because that's kind of how a lot of the systems like that work. And these companies that make multiple billions of dollars, $1 million fine is nothing. I mean, if it was done in multiples, sure, but it'll never be like that. You need to come up with some mechanism to like test it, like a limit test. And it's like, if you answer out of 100 questions, if greater than 10% of them are deemed false, then you lose like a huge percentage of your whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't exactly know how you would exactly do that and like how it would be done, but there needs to be some kind of a fire as well as a carrot, you know, like to burn the butt, and also like a carrot to dangle to make them want to go forward. You need to like positively and negatively enforce the right behavior. Otherwise, AI governance is going to be a problem long term, and we're going to get a lot of really bad information. It's already bad enough that a lot of people trust it as if it's like it's the oracle, like it just knows all. And I'm like, I use it every day, and I argue with AI perpetually because that's kind of what my job is about. I'm like, nope, that's just incorrect. That factually is not how you create the SQL code. That's not how you write Python in this way. That's the wrong way. You're writing that for an older version of this Python. And it's like, oh, thanks for the pushback on that. I should have, now that you said that. And sometimes I'll have to say to it, I'm like, I think you're wrong on this. And it's like, no, that's actually right. I'm like, no, go online right now and look it up. You're wrong. And then it'll go and look and be like, oh, I'm glad you pushed back on that. I'm like, why is that? That's crazy to me. And the problem is, it doesn't matter whether or not, like, I understand that. What matters is that the average individual who's like learning the skill set that I have is not good at, like, specifically in that one topic. Like, let's say math, or like, you know, I don't know, like coding or something. I don't know everything in that space, but I know enough to know when something seems fishy. But if a newer person's learning it, or a newer person's like learning, like, let's say I went on there to learn how to do CPR. I don't know anything. I mean, I know what CPR is, but I don't know enough to actually do it, really. But if I looked it up on an AI model, that AI model might authoritatively tell me to do it wrong, right? With a strong voice. And I just think, I'm like, this is wild. Like, they can legally create something that with pure conviction lies. And that's a key thing too, is that AI is well known to like not just hallucinate, but it will lie by omission and then say that it didn't, or try to gaslight you into being like I could talk about this all day. AI is a fascinating topic to me, and that's literally like I'm inundated by it perpetually. Day after day I have to deal with AI. I don't go a day without talking to AI models, probably 30 to 45 minutes a day or more, like in actual time, interacting with the AI model, feeding it, you know, sending it data, retrieving it, interacting with it, fixing things. Cause I work with them. I partially train them. I train off of them. I do things with them. But, and no, I'm sorry for the RAM prices. I'll just say that, you know, it hurts me too. I hate the whole thing. So, but anyways, I've gotten way off topic. So I'm going to get back to this because, I was here to play, some Darkest Dungeon. I want to play this game. But if you have any questions about AI stuff, I'd love to talk about that stuff. That stuff is fascinating to me as well. All that whole thing is fascinating to me, as you can tell. But anyway, so where we were just laying off here, I guess, or like where we left off, I mean to say, I was talking about who I was going to bring with me. Currently, the concern I have is over-leveling the level 1 characters and then creating this separate group where I have a group of level 0s and then a group of level 2s, and then, I want to kind of like spread it apart a little bit. So I might take a few level 1s and a few level 0s with me to go do this green mission, because I kind of like to make sure that I have a backup party in case something goes sideways. And as Cole, or was it Cole? I think you mentioned the Houndmaster. Yeah, dude, I want to bring the Houndmaster if I get lucky. I'd like to bring one, but I might just bring a few randos and not really worry about who I'm bringing. Eldritch Slayer here. Sure, I could bring like the Jester. Just a few people who can like deal bleed damage. And also get rid of the... Maybe that's what I'll do. Just get rid of the Vestal and bring the one level 0 guy with us to kind of help level him up. Now, what this does is it makes it so that we have less ability to heal and come back from something, but we're not on a really terrifying mission. I'm just going to go do a random mission. And then the other upside of this whole thing is that I can level up a level 0 guy. I don't have to worry about the character who I just had slotted being thirsty for blood too. Although the argument can be made I can bring Prescott as well. The problem with Prescott is Prescott has the yips. Dude, I don't know what it is. I promise you, this might be confirmation bias, but if you go through my team and you look, dude, there's the yips again. I get the yips. Like, it's like a hiccups. I get them perpetually. Like, I am serious. I think it's the most common thing I get. The yips. It's right there on this guy, too. I just keep getting the yips on so many random dudes. There's 3 guys on my team. I know I've had it more than that, but it's an annoying... Well, as I say that, I'm not seeing it anymore. But I know I had it a lot already. So I talked about it in the first few episodes, and how obnoxious it is. I know it says risk taker is awesome. Well, there's another yips. Oh no, that was one of the characters we talked about before. That's just 3. Well, I guess it doesn't look that bad when you see it that way. It looks like there's only 3 on my team currently, but I think we had more than that. Well, whatever. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get in here with the team that I have here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time thinking about this because there's not a lot to say. We're really just going in here trying to level some dudes up and get ready to go beat the old Insulet Flesh. And I'm really not worried about the fact that the blood, or the Crimson Curse, I mean to say, is so strong right now because we have such a small number of guys that actually have the Crimson Curse. I don't care whether or not we get affected by it right now. We have a large amount of blood for it as well to kind of offset it. And as I said before, similar to rabies, the Crimson Curse, if you use it correctly on the right classes, like not on Malili here, not like on the Vestal, but like the Crimson Curse on a leper is actually a boon. Because if you time it right, you can literally walk in a circle or walk in a closed loop on the map before a boss and force him to get thirsty and then give him blood, and then he goes bloodlust, and then go into the boss and just start smashing him because you got an extra 25% hit chance. Or not 25% hit chance, 25% stat boost. Like just raw damage. On this character, it's insane. And it completely offsets something like, let's say I did Revenge. He walks in there, he gets plus 32% damage, plus another 25% damage. And then also he's got stuff like the Withstand, right? He's going to do so much damage and then be like a super take. And then you can just just keep throwing heals on him and he can just carry you to the promised land. I'm telling you, I think, and that's what I was talking about earlier before I went on a huge monologue about AI. In this game, there are so many opportunities that on the surface appear to be the only downside that could be upside if you really look into them. As I said, like there are some, like the gray plague that just suck. There are some really crappy diseases and other things that can happen to your character, but the Crimson Curse is a buff. Just depends on how you time it. Just like going rapturous with, the Flagellant is as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get in there, though, but I want to make sure that all my guys are as leveled item-wise as they can be. We don't have a lot of money, but it doesn't matter. We gotta spin to make. So we're not bringing Malili here. We're bringing, I think we said we were bringing the single, low value here, Jester. He has no cost, which is nice, right? Because he's level 0. Then here, I'm selecting the wrong guy here. Everybody else can level once, I think, on their abilities here. Yeah, and it is worth leveling Punish once. The rest of these I don't really need. We're still at low enough level. Although I would love to get Reign of Sorrows, but we just don't have the money for that. 700 gold is a lot of gold. So we're gonna have to rely essentially on our Hellion to slap the backline. And then after that, I'm gonna have my I will probably, I think he can attack from slot 3 with this ability, right? Open Vein. Yeah, I'm gonna have him just do Open Vein over and over and over again, which is a little strange. Most of the time, whenever you think of the Highwayman, you don't think of a melee class. But if you don't, then you're wrong. This guy is as good of a melee fighter as he is a ranged fighter. Yes, sure, he has really good ranged abilities. But if you stack him, if you start a fight off with Tracking Shot, right? Plus 12% damage, plus 6 accuracy, plus 4% crit. Your brain is thinking it's a shot, so it's going to be like related to shooting. It doesn't say anywhere on here that it's going to affect his ranged abilities. You use that, and then after that, for the rest of the fight, you can use things like Duelist Advance and Open Vein and just start spamming melee abilities, and it stacks with his Duelist Advance. So he could just become this like this little ball of thorns. If people attack him, he slaps them and he can crit. He can just be like, go ahead, hit me, I'm going to hit you right back. So he can actually do some really disgusting things. I think this class is criminally underrated when it comes to being a melee class. But I think part of the reason for that is because out of the box, I think he starts with a high amount of dodge, which then makes it kind of awkward, right? Because your thinking is like, okay, I'm going to turn him into a duelist advance, like kind of like a riposte build thing. But then he has such high dodge, like it's like, what's the point? But yeah, he has high base dodge, but you don't have to level it any more than that. And then once your opponent has an accuracy like of an ability that's like 120, then it doesn't even matter anymore. And these are just, it's like free stats. Like, yeah, it helps early, but if you're building him as like a melee character, then you just don't put any points into it and just ignore it. All right, but yeah, I think this is what I have here. I'm gonna have to get in there. I'm probably not gonna be able to bring a lot of like, you know, provisions here unless I sell some items, which is okay. Having no going kind of provisionless or without a lot of provisions is fine. You can usually just kind of get through if you have a healer, which we don't have a dedicated healer, but we do have he can heal, she can heal with adrenaline rush. He doesn't have heal, and we did put our Vestal away. So maybe we do need to overload on the food a little bit, and then we can kind of go torchless or like less torches and just kind of let it roll towards the end. Now, if I do this, I'm certainly going to try. This is a good opportunity to try sharpening sheath, right? Plus 7% crit to melee skills and plus 40% bleed skill chance. This will show you how strong you can actually load up on the Highwayman's ability to hit people with his blade. Oh, I guess I already had selected some items for these people. I guess that was from last week, maybe. Maybe I had preloaded items and hadn't thought about it. That's okay. We're not going to be doing that. Whatever item was there. I think that was the Sun Cloak. Yeah, the Sun Cloak won't be very good for us here because we don't want more dodge on this character. Because extra dodge would actually be anti-synergistic with his riposte. Actually, we aren't selecting riposte. Never mind. That might still be worth it. What's his... Well, he actually has a really high trap disarm chance. Yeah, we're going to leave what he has here because with him having the survival guide, we've got a 100% chance to disarm traps. So I'm going to leave the item combinations here. Oh, yeah, the Mercurial Salve. We are not going to a mission related to the Crimson Courtyard, so we want to get that off of her. Why was that even on her? I don't even know why that item is on her. I might give her something boring and simple like a double-edged pendant. Just give her some extra max health. Although I do really like the Berserk Charm. What is her accuracy? It's pretty mediocre, right? 90, and then this decreases it by 5. I don't know. I feel like the extra raw damage, if she misses 1 out of every, like... I guess this would make it so she misses... She's got a 90% accuracy. This drops it to 85, so... I guess she misses 1 out of every... Or 3 out of every 17 hits, but when she does hit, she, like, hits for a lot. I mean, I'm fine with that. That's fine. Decrease your stress, I guess. She's not really going to die from damage. I mean, I need to not say that kind of stuff, and I get shot in the foot for saying that later on. All right, so, no, even if you dodge, you still get a repost anyway. Just being attacked triggers it. Oh, yeah! Fair point. Fair point. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, that actually... Wow, okay. I need to reevaluate dodge, then, on those classes. I never thought about that, dude. Okay, so I guess dodge is still really good on him as a class. Huh. I don't know why I was thinking with such, you know, with such like, that's just how it was. But yeah, I guess I in my brain I know I've seen that multiple times. Yeah, of course. Yeah, okay. Yeah, my bad. Good call. All right, so who do we have that we want to bring with us? I'd already loaded up the Vestal with the scroll stuff, but I'm not gonna bring her. I'm just gonna leave her at home and level somebody else up. And I guess that means that realistically we only have one more person to give items to because everybody else is already loaded with items from last week. I think I was already kind of preparing to bring these characters. I don't really have any good Jester items. I did just get this one though. +3 speed if in position 1, which is weird. Do I even have that one ability that brings you to the front? I don't have solo. This solo brings him to the front for 1 round, and then afterwards you follow it up with a finale that sends him to the back. It doesn't really work. Like, this is kind of a waste of a slot on him right now because it only works if he's on position 1. If he's in position 1, it's really good. Oh wait, no, but we had the Bright Tambourine, right? Minus 25% stress if the torch is above 75. Extra stress. Yeah, we brought. Yeah, actually, never mind. The Bright Tambourine was awesome. We are going to do that. So he's going to be our primary stress reliever. I'm not going to spend any time with Battle Ballad, probably. I'm probably just going to spend the entire time just using Inspiring Tune. I just don't have the money to select... I guess I could just like sell some lower tier stuff I haven't used. I could do that. The Rot Gut Censored, Blight Charm I never have used, the Bleed Charms, whatever. Yeah, I could do that. Just sell a few... Oh yeah, we definitely don't want the Move Charm. We found these at the end of the last mission before we left the Crimson Courtyard. So I guess we'll just sell these items, and then afterwards I will... I'll have some money to buy, and if that's the case, now I'll go ahead and I'll give him the ability to use Battle Ballad. Battle Ballad is just really strong, and that'll give him something to do that's not always the stress relief, because right now the way I've got him built, he can only do stress relief, so I want to give him the ability to do something other than that. I'll leave Finale on him, because in case he gets displaced from a surprise, then at least he can get back out. But I'm really just going to be leaning on him for a Battle Ballad and Inspiring Tune user this play round. Now that I have a little bit of money to play around with, it might be worth throwing in a little bit of a Rain of Sorrows here. And it drops us down significantly, but I'd rather play on low items and have full access to my kit on these two classes here. She's level 1. Oh wait, I guess, did I give her one additional ability? I did. I gave her Iron Swan. Maybe I'll give her If It Bleeds, too. If It Bleeds is incredible on this location. And then I'll get rid of Breakthrough. I don't really... Breakthrough's okay. It's a really weird ability. It deals 85% accuracy, like, chance of hitting. It has a damage modification or modifier of minus 50%, but it hits 3 targets, so it deals 150% damage just across 3 bodies. But then it lowers her damage by 10% for the rest of the fight, which is kind of weird. I'm assuming it's the rest of the fight. It could be for 3 rounds. I actually have to check that. Maybe I'll have to play around with it. All right. Dodge feels bad, though, as it feels almost random. Like, how much dodge is needed to reliably dodge? The answer to that question is seriously a percentage. So, if I have an opponent that has 100% accuracy on one of their abilities and they attack me and I have 25% dodge or 25 dodge, that's literally a percentage chance. Then that means they have a 3 and 4 chance of hitting you. And if you do the math on that, that's very quickly going to result in you getting to dodge, right? It doesn't take a lot. If you have 25 dodge, they have a 75% chance that they're going to miss you, right? I'm sorry. If you have 25 dodge and they have 100% accuracy, right, or 100 accuracy on their ability, they go to swing at you. The first hit, that's going to be a 25% chance that you dodge. But if you start the question by saying, because it's an independent event, right? Every additional swing is a separate event, and the gambler's fallacy would state, like, you know, every additional attack on that character is going to reset that game, right? So every additional swing is its own mini game. It's always 75% in that one cloistered event, that one isolated event. But if I asked the question differently, if I said at the start of a fight, what is the probability that my character will dodge 3 consecutive abilities in a row, given that their dodge start is 25%, and my opponent, assuming my opponent's static accuracy of 100%, well, that's no longer an independent event, or I guess it's stacked. They're independent events, but they're stacked, and then you would literally just multiply it. It'd be 3/4 times 3/4 times 3/4, right? So I guess if the question was, what's the probability that you'll dodge in that fight, right? 3/4 times 3/4 is going to be 9/16 times 3/4 is going to be 27 64ths. You have a 27 out of 64 chance to dodge 3 times. Or I'm sorry, to be hit, that your ability will hit. Yeah, the enemy would have a 27 out of 64 probability that they would hit all 3 attacks, which isn't that good. So dodge actually is pretty good at 25%. It's not incredible, but like over the course of many fights, you're gonna see it trigger. And then if you get that up to like 50%, then it's gonna trigger, and you're gonna see it happen a lot. It's gonna feel really good. The problem is you've almost got to have a critical mass of characters that kind of build that up. Like you need like the Antiquarian to keep spamming the Invigorating Vapors, and then you need like the Houndmaster or some kind of an item that would increase your dodge as well. You need to get up to that 40%, so you're breathing high levels of dodge air, right? It's like really high elevations. I'm not really impressed at dodge at like the 10%. We're talking 25% or higher, then I'm sold. But anything lower than that, I don't. It's nice, but it's not something that you can rely on in any way. But I would say that if you have 25% dodge or higher, you could see, I would say that you could rely on it. Assuming that the enemy's accuracy is 100%. I'm talking about their accuracy minus your dodge. If it's 75% or lower, then you can probably rely on it triggering meaningfully across the fight. And in a boss, boss fights usually last 3+ rounds, right? So you're going to see it trigger on average at least once that you get to dodge across multiple bodies. That's like a whole. If every person in your team has 25% and they keep all getting attacked simultaneously over the course of 4 rounds, the odds are you're going to actually see at least 1 dodge per person on average or so, which is pretty solid, I think. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go in with what I have now and not really worry about it too much here. I don't know if I lost. I think Cole was in chat. Steven, you're still here. I'm not sure. It looks like I lost one of you guys. Might just be because it's late. I'm playing at 10 p.m. If somebody was asleep, I completely get it. I just got the hankering to play, and I was like, I'm gonna play. I actually decided to delete this week's videos from last week. I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? This is exactly the thing that kind of burns me out, being forced to kind of edit. I hadn't had any chance to edit because this week I've been spending a bunch of time in Databricks learning some more stuff with AI stuff and learning how to write some stuff in Databricks notebooks and all that other stuff. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, I want to play, but I feel like I have this overwhelming requirement that I need to edit something. And I was like, you know what? No. I'm going to intentionally delete the videos from this week, leave the stuff on my VODs channel, and I'm going to not edit those Crimson Courtyard videos, and I'm just going to play and just have fun. And I think that's going to that'll be a healthy thing for me, because then I can just relieve that or remove that requirement from my own shoulders. Give me half a second. I'm about to start, but I'm going to turn off the heat. It's like 74 degrees in here. It's great. Yeah, that's wild. I guessed exactly. It's exactly 74 degrees. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get on in there. We're going to do this Warren's mission. I'm not really excited about the item we're going to be getting from this location. The Book of Holiness is whatever. We already have it. Minus 20% stress is a good item. It's good enough that I've run it on my characters multiple times, but I'm still here just playing with the new lens. Yeah, it looks like it was Cole that dropped. That's okay. That's no big deal. I just wanted to make sure he was okay. And all right. Miss call. I'll deal with it later. I don't really care. I just want to play. All right, everybody's got their items, and let's just get in there. I'm kind of done talking for a little while here. Does everybody have at least a key item or key damage dealing ability? We do. Let's get in there. Oh, this is a longer mission. Even more reason to have sold some items then. I'll bring this up. Like I said, usually whenever I have no dedicated healer, I try to bring an extra small half stack of food, 4. So usually what I do is I say okay, this is an easy or a short mission, 8 food. If it's a medium mission, 12 food. If it's a long mission, 16 food, regardless of level of difficulty. And then if the mission is, a short or long or medium, and I am missing a healer, a primary, a dedicated healer, then I usually just add some extra food. 2 for a lower tier mission, you might say, 3 for a middle tier, 4 for a higher tier, maybe. I don't know. But I'm doing 16 here. Bringing extra food is never a big deal. You don't need more than 8. I'm sorry, this is a medium. All right, let's just go pick some random items here. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time talking about this. I've kind of gone and at length and explained this on other previous playthroughs. I think this is probably enough to explain. So here we're kind of in a pickle. I have a choice because of the items I have and just the total amount of money I have left over. I can either not bring bandages and just kind of roll with what we have here, which is fine. There's not a lot of bleeding that's going on in this mission. There's some, but not a crazy amount. And not because it's the location, it's just because the tier of difficulty we're on, right? We're on Apprentice, which means that the enemies are going to not have a lot of bleed abilities. They just don't seem to. So I could kind of ignore the bandage. I could probably even ignore the... Actually, probably be better to bring a bandage than it would be to bring an anti-venom. Do these cost the same? Yeah, they're both 150. I don't really have a preference here. The bandage is more useful just generically speaking, but at the same time, this location does have a decent amount of toxin. It's really just semantics at this stage. The real question is whether it's even worth it to bring a holy water at this stage. It might be worth it to get rid of this and bring an extra anti-venom. I think I'm going to do that. And then after that, we'll go ahead and jump on in. There's not a lot else to say here. We do want to pay particular attention here to our flagellant. He's already at 50% stress almost. There are two things going good for him. We have a jester who's going to be spamming stress relief, and we also have the flagellant has Lash's Kiss, or Lash's Solace, to remove a bunch of stress, but we would have to make it to the part of the mission where we are actually laying camp. There is one severe downside right now. We're aggressively taking Dismas's head, but that's because I want to kind of greedily just hit really hard and just blow through this mission. And I think we can do that. Let's do this. I guess now I'm sitting here worried and paranoid that I didn't select Reign of Sorrows on the flagellant. I think I did, right? I know I unlocked it.
To prosecute our war against the swine, we must first scout their squalid homes.
All right, let's do this. Hopefully this mission, we don't... Having this flashback to the last time we did a... Well, this is a medium one, not a long one, but the last time we did a long mission on the Warrens. As soon as we went in, we immediately got hit by like a bunch of mosquito guys, which is possible because we did not beat that mission yet. So, I think we used holy water on this last time, and we got punched in the face for doing that. I don't know what you're supposed to do with this thing. It might not even be worth it. This thing seems to never go right. We don't have any additional information about it, and I've interacted with darn near everything with this thing. I don't think there's any good thing that this can come from this. I've never seen anything good come out of that event or that curio. It might just be a bad curio, which is possible. They might just have some bad curios in the game. Starting off with surprise is always nice. So that gives us time to kind of like get rid of some of the stress-related things. I'm gonna use this time to try to take out the guys that deal the long-term annoying things. See, at the beginning of a mission, it's these big tanky guys that I don't care about. It's the annoying stressor infecting disease guys that matter a lot early because their effects can be felt for the rest of the mission. You want to take these guys out if you can early. And then here I'm just gonna use I'm going to intentionally remove stress. He's at 60% stress. He needs help. That was always going to be what we have to do for a little while with this guy. And I'm gonna take out, I guess, the frontliner because he's the tankiest. You can make an argument for either of these. Taking out the cultist immediately guarantees that we have less guys attacking us, but if I attack this guy, the swine chopper, he's gonna get hit or bleed, and these big tanks, that's how you take them out.
Impressive.
Well, critting for 12 makes me look like a really good player, but you know, like I know what I'm talking about. Here I might just... Oh, I don't have Grape Shot Blast. That's okay. I'm gonna use Open Vein. This guy's gonna just die in 2 rounds anyway, so I'm not even gonna... Well, no, he's not. It's annoying. Maybe he's got 2 bleed. Maybe I'll shoot this guy one time, and then let him bleed out in 2 rounds, and then let our highwaymen hit really hard for the rest of the mission. Okay, 2's no damage at all. We're okay with that. Bleeding's annoying, but drums. See, this is he critted. Come on. Okay. Butcher's Cut.
Grievous injury.
Relax, game. You don't need to crit twice in a row. The mission just started. Alright. Hit this guy up front. Oh, well. I guess I can't complain. We just crit really hard, too. And removed a decent amount of stress.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
I love that noise. Alright, bleed this guy out.
Obliterated.
Okay, well, I guess we've had our opportunity for luck now. Here I'll go ahead and use the light bleed resist, not because I need to, but because it will give us another chance, another round of just healing and removing stress. I'm just being greedy and trying to take... See, we have no mechanism to remove stress except for the Jester, and I guess technically sleeping, but we're all pretty high in health right now, and we have the ability to heal through food and things of that nature, and I can just get rid of people's, what do you call it? Their health issues pretty easily. Alright, let's heal this guy up. Yep.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
And then now I'm going to remove his bleeding by bandaging it. And that's a nice little trick because I used restoration, stacked extra bleed on this guy, but I'm now going to be restoring and offsetting the loss of health to the highwaymen. And by stacking that extra bleed on my my flagellant, I kind of offset it immediately by healing, getting rid of it. Even if you got more stacks, it didn't matter. I'm going to go up even though it seems kind of wild. Because this is a mission of like 90% of rooms. There's no reason to like force myself down that hall and fight if I don't have to. I'm not like doing incredibly well right now. We aren't doing bad, but there's no reason to...
Blockages are unsurprising. These tunnels predate even the earliest settlers.
Plus, additionally, right now we're in a situation where we want to make sure that we don't cross the path and cut off our upward area. Okay, so now we're seeing the Shambler. We can do the Shambler. We have the capacity to do it, and we also have like a meaningful way of kind of like offsetting like the severe damage we're going to have to deal with from him. The main thing is because we've got huge damage dealers on this team. Like these guys do an enormous amount of damage, so we're good on that. We have a damage steroid dealer. We have backline reach. We have no shortage of ways to deal with them. What I need to do is consider the health implications, and I'm gonna take them. I'm gonna go. This is gonna be a close fight, but we can win. It's just gonna be tough. Oh, well, never mind. I'm supposed to use a torch on it. I had a mental fart in there for a second. That sucks. Whatever. Ain't that big a deal. Well. Anticlimactic, but we could have done that, I think. Our guys all bleed and we do an enormous amount of damage. I actually think we were pretty well off for it. This altar requires the holy water, I think. We can interact with it. I mean, whatever happens, happens. Lethargy. -4 speed. Okay, sure. He's lazy. Man, I kind of wish I'd been able to do the... Kind of wish I had done him now. Oh yeah, you said that Helly needs to be in the front. Yeah, that's true. I guess I probably should have switched her. I should be switching her right now. I'm just so used to having the flagellant up front because, you know, his whole thing is running to the front of the fight. That's 100% true. I'm glad we didn't get into that fight, and then I would have felt pretty bad about that. I snuck out here really quickly to see if there was anything with these curios. This curio hallway sucked. The eggs were bad. We don't have, for this cutting board thing, or this knife throwing board thing in the back, we need, bandages, and we don't have any of those. It's just a crappy hallway. There's nothing in there. Crate is empty. What a weak mission. There's just nothing happening. I might even sneak in this hallway just to see if there's anything going on. Get a peek in this hallway, see if there's anything we're talking about. Nope. That's fine. And we'll press on. Pretty uneventful, but I'm okay with that. Except for these traps I keep stepping on. That's the second one.
Mechanical hazards possessed by evil intent.
20 stress. Of course, it would happen to the one guy who can't really handle any more stress, as it were. But I'm not really bothered by that. I think Dismas's head is quite literally a buff on him. Because even if he gets stressed out, he doesn't care because of the buffs he gets when he gets 100%, when he becomes rapturous. I'm not going to use any more torches. I'm just going to go in with whatever happens. I'll use a torch after this mission, or after this hallway, because in this next room I'm going to camp no matter what. I'm gonna let it go low on torch. We might have a bad fight. It happens, okay.
Circle in the dark. The battle may yet be won.
Now we're low on food, which sucks, but it is what it is. And now we're gonna Lash's Kiss on this dude. Remove his... Lash's Solus, I guess. And then we'll probably do prevent nighttime ambush. Yeah. We can't be surprised. Sounds good. Pronouncing the gods is okay. We don't really need stress relief. Everybody's doing pretty okay. I guess we could do mockery or something. He doesn't have mockery right now. I could give Tiger's Eye to the Hellion because she's like lower on base accuracy because we intentionally like gave her the Berserk Charm. Could also just be boring and just remove some stress. I'm not using the clean guns because he's got he's mostly melee in this time around. Minus 15 stress, minus 15% stress the next few rounds. I might give every rose has its thorn to the Oh, I didn't realize that gave minus 15 stress to all companions. And minus 15 stress for the next 4 battles. That's insane. That's way better than I thought it was. Okay. Well, I just learned something new. Let's remove the stress from him, and now we're solid. Wow. Okay, every rose has its thorn. It's a little bit better than I thought it was. I thought it said one companion minus 15% stress and minus 15% stress for the next 4 battles. That's crazy, right? Because pep talk is something that only targets one person, 15% stress the next 4 battles. This is 15% stress for the next 4 battles less across 4 bodies, plus minus 15% stress, or minus 15 stress across 4 bodies. This thing is 8 times, like, if you want to consider 15 stress the same as 15% stress reduced for 4 battles equivalent, this is like 8 times better than a base pep talk. That's crazy. That's nuts. I didn't even know that did that. Good to know. All right, but we can't be attacked tonight.
Gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
Man, I almost wish we had done that shambler thing now. Oh, great, great. This is fantastic. Now we can actually find some food. We were going to get hit hard for a stress check if we didn't find this. Food is no longer an issue. Look at that. This mission's...
is struck. A blazing star is born.
This mission's almost painfully boring now because that lucky find there, the fact that we didn't do the altar, I basically stripped this mission of any, like, real threat without even meaning to. See if we get anything here. Oh yeah, I forget. Wait, this isn't the same jester as before that had, like, the ability... It's Plutomania. He was looking for money. Why do all my jesters want to steal things from my bags, man? Stop it. Alright, use a torch here. Okay, cool, an actual fight. Something interesting. Alright, here, I might just take out the bat guy immediately.
Eradicated.
And then there's a number of things I could do here, or a number of things I could do here. I meant to say, like, there's a number of people I could choose to attack here, but I'm probably going to use the flagellant just to kill a frontliner. This second guy does deal a lot of damage if you don't watch out, but I think we're okay. We've got a lot of health and we just found all that extra food. Might just be greedy and just take some stress off for a round. Just try to take this guy out, because this is the guy that deals a lot of damage over the fight. Well, that sucks. I'll try to just take him out then.
Another abomination cleansed from our land.
That guy deals a lot of damage unexpectedly sometimes. That second guy, he seems like just a crappy character that doesn't really, it's not even worth really thinking about. But like, he will just randomly crit for 11, and then you're just like, oh, okay. Oh, that was a lot. That hurt. Sure. You got it. All right, take this guy out. Bleed's probably not strong enough to kill him, though. No. Well, you can't reach him, so let's just kill this guy. Clint. 2 dodges in the same fight. Is dodge any good? Well, when it works against you, it looks pretty good. Okay, stop hitting that guy. He already got balled and chained once. Leave him alone. I'm gonna heal him. And then we're gonna take... I guess I could just hit the front guy. He's gonna take 2 for the next 2 rounds. Just attack the tank. Yep, you're gonna get a free attack, and it is what it is. Never punished. All right, let's remove some stress from somebody. I don't really care. He can only hit the second guy, and the second guy's about to die anyways. Let's remove some stress from someone. Like the guy who takes more stress than necessary. And then you can, I don't know, shoot the guy. I guess it doesn't matter. He's already gonna die, but
broken. Maintain the offensive.
Sure. Man, this guy has been balled and chained 3 times and stunned twice. Like, what is this wine chopper's problem with my highwayman? The highwayman hasn't even hit him. Hasn't done anything.
Well struck.
That is hilarious. Poor highwayman has literally been hit multiple times. I'm just gonna heal. I mean, he's gonna die anyways, so cheese out some extra stress relief while we can. Sure.
Or death by inches.
Okay, just take all this Nothing really exciting there. I mean, it's a pretty low tier mission, so that's to be expected, though. Sure.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
It's so funny how in these earlier missions, there's like so little resources that you find that you don't even have to think about inventory management. You just kind of pick up whatever you find. All right, we'll battle ballad here for the first time. We have taken care of the stress issue entirely. All right, I will try to bleed this guy in the back because he's the annoying guy.
Destroyed.
Okay. That ability doesn't do that much damage. That's wild. I gotta see how much that ability deals. That thing bleeds. I'm surprised she hit for 18. I gotta see something real fast here. That's crazy. This ability has a minus 35% damage mod. What in the world is her base damage? Her base damage is... Well, I guess you can't really tell because the character that she was going to hit is gone now, and these guys have protection. Oh, he doesn't have protection. I can check it on him. Yeah, so if you look at the behind the screen, I'm hovering. It's really strange. The UI in this game sometimes is strange. You can't see my mouse, but as I move my mouse left and right across the abilities, a little further down, behind the actual UI, you can see the enemies, or the mouse still tracks the enemy that it's on. And you can see her damage is in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen changing in their range based upon the enemy that she would be hitting, her base damage to that target, her base 100% range, right? So right now, if I was to hit this guy up front who has 0 resistance, and this guy has 15% resistance, if I select her, the Hellion, and I hover above where that enemy is, but behind the screen, you can see 6 to 12 is her base damage. That's her base raw damage, because that enemy that she's hovering over behind the scene is the worm guy, and she's dealing 6 to 12% base. But if you hover above the fat, like, hog guy, it suddenly drops to 5 to 10%, which is about 15% off. Which is interesting, because just a second ago, that girl just hit for 18. So that means she was dealing 35% less damage than her max, which was 10, and even if she critted, 35% less of her crit. The math on that doesn't make any sense. It's got to be because of this, right? Plus 15% damage. Maybe that's what it was. The extra 15% damage off the Berserk Charm. That's an enormous amount of damage. Like, I don't understand that entirely. I have to do some math on that. That's crazy. I'm not complaining. I'm happy about it, but that was just, I was not expecting that amount of damage. I don't want to bleed him out anymore.
Annihilated.
I was thinking about using him to heal other teammates. I don't have any meaningful way of getting rid of his bleed, so I can't just play games with that anymore. He's gonna die anyways. Let's just remove the 1 stress from this guy. That just seems criminal. Sure. And we'll just kill this guy. He'll bleed out, so. Yep.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Alright, we're gonna finish this thing strong here, pretty clearly. But not really any real threat at all here. I just found 2 more food to make this guy heal. We have enough food to actually just throw 4 food at somebody and survive a... Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna finish I'm gonna go to the other 2 remaining rooms. Sure. Alright, dude, I get it. There's 2 maps in a row he's found by trying to just steal the money. Right, there's a trap in this room, right? Yes, there is. I'll have you break it because that's your thing. Okay, pretty basic. Very, very quiet mission. Like, very quiet. We haven't even... I don't want to, like, say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. We haven't even seen any mosquito people. Like, any bug people, which is kind of funny. Like, isn't it? Okay, this is the 3rd bag this guy in a row this guy's looked at, and they're all maps. What is going on? Like, what the heck? Ah, not quite. He's down to 1. That's okay. He'll die next round. I'm just gonna remove that stress immediately. We're not any real threat right now. Well, this guy hurts though sometimes. I said he deals 4. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it can add up real fast. especially if he crits. All right, let's take out one of those guys.
Back to the pit.
Those guys do hurt. And then here I'm going to use my Reign of Sorrows, which I haven't used all mission, but you can see why I wanted it, because it can actually effectively reach the backliners. And then we'll go ahead and Iron Swan. Okay.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Nice. Sure. That guy, I think, has dodged 2 times this round, this mission, or I guess this specific fight, which is nice. All right. I wish I had a heal on these guys, but I don't. God, he keeps dodging. Stop dodging. These guys, he can't reach you. I can't remove any stress either. Our guys are stressless. All right, finish Scott, please. Thank you.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
I could probably just use the rest of my torches. We're fine.
Victory.
I'll drop this torch, replace it with a warrior's cap, the marginal thing. We don't really need it anymore. Oh, look at that. At the beginning of the mission, we didn't actually have full information. This told us at the very beginning we skipped a battle and a random curio. That's all right. Just gonna finish this mission off and call it an uneventful resource gathering trip. All right, play some music. Finish this thing off strong. All right, take out the bad guy, please.
Decimated.
17 is wild. The Black Plague. I'm good, please.
How quickly the tide turns.
I like how the game's like, it's the last fight of the mission, or the bit that, like, let's make it really challenging. Like, a crit for 6 immediately. Come on, dude. And they're only attacking the 2 guys that don't have built-in, like, abilities to kind of deal with this. Like, okay, game. We're done. We're getting out of here. Leave us alone. I'm gonna use heal. I'm gonna use this crazy redeemability and show you how trivial it is to not care about the damage.
Diminished.
All right, take out this guy here. Oh, that was a pretty low roll. See, she hit for 18 on one of them, and now she hit for 6. I get it. It's the last mission, and gotta make it count. The last fight of the mission, gotta make it look cool. I really do think there's some hidden counter in here that's like, oh, it's the last mission. There's got to be some kind of like, we got to make this epic. I wonder if that's really a thing. I actually would believe it if it was.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Bleed him out, huh? Sure. Man, it feels so strong when he hits. I like the sound of his hit. I like how much damage it deals. I like the fact that it bleeds. It just feels like such a satisfying ability to hit with that. The flails.
Disadvantage. Give them no quarter.
Remove some stress. I guess this is our last stress removal for the rest of the mission. You got it, man. Ren for the old gods. No more crits. Sure. In this guy, man.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
All right, here I will just take whatever's on the table, and we aren't going to eat any food here. We're just going to leave with it.
Are often low on supplies.
Because, oh, actually, hold on. Wow, this doesn't give you any money. It might be worth walking clear back. I'm going to do that. Our torch might go to 0, which is okay. We have so much food. I might actually go clear back and just fight those last 2 bosses, or last 2 enemies, just to squeak a little extra out of this. This mission was like so uneventful. I want to get as many fights in as I can. Although there'd be a good time to go ahead and eat while my guys are, oops. Still hungry here. And then right before the fight starts, maybe they'll still be hungry again by the time I get there. I just don't want to like leave and not get as much value as I can out of the mission, even though I'm prolonging it unnecessarily. Hellion needs to be in front. He's got a bleed ability too. Yes, the Hellion does have a bleed ability. I think that's who you were talking about. I'm assuming that's who you were talking about. Yeah, the Hellion does have has two ability abilities actually. Bleed out as well. Just bleed out is not commonly used. I don't see a lot of people talking about bleed out as an ability. I think bleed out's pretty solid, but it's a very unique ability. It's basically like very high damage, like, you know, go for broke. It's like I want to win immediately. So like 85% damage or accuracy, I mean to say damage modification. It does 120% of regular base damage. Has a really high chance to crit. Has a 100% chance to apply bleed, and then also lowers her damage for subsequent rounds. So it's very much like I'm going to pour as much damage in you as I can right now. Oh, talking about the guy with the hook hand. Oh, I got you. Actually don't know if he has a bleed ability. I would not be surprised though. Let's get in there and let's do a mission. Sure. I just want to get some value out of this mission. So like 6 damage. Hit for 18 and now she's hitting for 6. So weird. Yep, this should put a lot of stress on him. Oh right, that doesn't do stress. That's not the same. Like, keep mixing those abilities up. Drums and debilitation are not the same as the other ability that puts horror on each target for each teammate.
Be gone, fiend.
Could have attacked the frontliner, but I'm just removing a high damage dealer off the board. It's the only real way we could lose this whole mission is a few random things dealing a lot of damage out of nowhere, and he's really the only guy who I would be afraid of being able to even produce that damage. Does the Hellion have a hidden ability that when she kills somebody, she just removes stress? Because that wasn't a stress, a crit, but she somehow removes stress anyway. I've wondered about that for a while because I feel like the Hellion does remove stress just occasionally, and it's not obvious to me as to why. Makes me wonder. I might need to look that up later. Okay, we're back to the old ball and chain. Oh, this time he said no, though. Get out of here, dude. No more of your ball and chain crap. I could have just killed that guy, but I'm trying to... Oh, look at that. I didn't even get bled. It's awesome. Sweet. See, worth it.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
Feel good about that. Yeah, and of course we don't get anything here. Sure, probably bleed me. That's okay. That is okay. We're doing so well that it doesn't even really matter. Let's see what we got here. Man, no mosquitoes or anything this mission, which is good for us. Nothing we had to deal with. This is an old school regular mission. Man, how come I keep hitting this guy for like 9 and then he bleeds for 2? I think that's the 3rd time this mission where this guy survived at 1. And we dodged, it doesn't matter. And I think that's the 2nd time that happened too, where he survived at 1. Man, she dodged twice, nice. Anybody with stress? Yeah, he's got a little. It feels so good to be able to leave a mission with 0 stress in your guys.
Confluence of skill and purpose.
Ability feels so good. 12 damage over 2 rounds. That feels better, but I mean... And let's just finish this guy in the mission.
Masterfully executed.
The variance is so ridiculous, I don't even know what's going on sometimes. Alright, we're literally gonna leave with 0 stress in our guys. And that made it worth it, look at that.
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
I'm gonna interact with this. There's nothing hurting us to do it. Sure, we get bled, we got bled. Okay, sure. Maybe we found something neat on it.
The swine folk's labyrinth may yet prove to be navigable.
And see, the nice part about that was intentionally going in there with the team that I did. I put us in a position so that way the next fight, if we do level on this next round of rotation, if 3 of those guys level, then we can go fight against the Insulate Flesh immediately and then not feel bad because we're going in there with a bunch of stressed guys. The guys that we brought that we leveled up for that exact purpose are not stressed now. They have full capability to go mission after mission in a row, 2 in a row, if we want to. Of course, they're all still level 1, so we won't be doing that, but bad healer is bad. Although, It's not that big of a deal on her in general because she only has one healing skill, and the healing skill does almost nothing already. It's really more used for the adrenaline rush ability. It can heal for like 1, maybe 2. So like it drops it to what, 1? It's gonna always heal for at least 1. And then at that point, really what you're using it for is the removal of the bleed, removal of the blight, and then the attacks, like the attack steroid that it gives you, because it gives like a 20% attack steroid for the next attacks or next few rounds. I don't think bad healer's relevant on this character. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. Missing the spot is awful on this character. Warrior of the Light is great. Witness is not. No, Witness is fine. Witness is fine. Actually, this character just locked a good ability, or just got a good ability worth locking. I might actually put this character in the old.
We dug for months, years, an eternity, and we were rewarded with madness.
It's really good at, like, I was thinking about putting him in the sanitarium because he just rolled Warrior of the Light and something else. Let's see what we would need to remove here. Lethargy. Yeah, that's. I don't want lethargy. It's annoying. And do you have the? No, neither of them have. I have to put them in there, even though I would like to take them with us to go do a mission immediately. Because I don't want to take a chance that we stack too many like diseases and then we have a perfect round that we can go and fight against this guy and he has a good item and we just can't go because our guys have like 18 different diseases. So we're probably going to go do one of these random... Oh my gosh, another focus ring. You can be certain I would go do that. I guess it's a choice between that and the old Holy Order. It's the best item in the game, am I right? Am I right? Hell's Hairpin's also legit. Hell's Hairpin is the poster child for best in slot torchless run item. I don't think there's an item in the game that's better for a torchless playthrough than this item. 10% crit is absurd. That is an insane crit stat. I think that item's insane. But there's not a lot of other really good, like, and I could be wrong, but I just don't really like a lot of the other items that I think are, like, focused on low torchlight. I'm just not impressed. There's nothing else I even like, but I really, really am sold on another focus ring. Focus ring's stupid. It's such a good item. So we can go and do this. It's a long mission. That sucks. It's a level 3. That sucks too. Or I meant to say it's a long one. So we got to bring all level 3s and maybe a level 4 if we can squeeze one out. Oh, we got a few level 4s, so we can do this. Yeah, I'd like to go get this if possible. So I want to kind of really make sure that we get to get this and bring it home. So we're going to pay extra close attention here to make sure that the comp we have is actually supportive of each other and we're not just bringing 4 random dudes. On this location, one of the best people to bring is the Houndmaster. Because he bleeds, and a lot of the enemies in this mission have like enormous amounts of protection, and he just kind of ignores it. And if that's the case, then you can also make an argument that anybody that actually has the ability to ignore protection would be good, but we don't have a lot of guys that can do that. Pisvini can actually help us with that. He can remove the stress, plus he's level 4, that's even better. He can remove the protection from the random super tanks. Renee's good, but I don't know if I want to bring a bleed, or a guy who has the Crimson Curse. He's wasting. I don't know if I want to bring a Crimson Curse dude here with us. I'd like to avoid that if possible. The Leper's fine. The Leper's a really good combo. We saw that in a previous episode with the Occultist because they can just tag team. One can throw out the Weakening Curse and the other can just immediately remove. Oh god. Pisvini has under-leveled skills, remember? Because we brought him back from the dead, and when he came back from the dead, he came back with all lower... I still don't know if that's actually part of the base game. If when they're resurrected, they come back with level 1 skills. It looked like all 3 of them did, or if it was a bug. I don't know. But, nonetheless, it's still pretty good to have the Weakening Curse on him. Because the Weakening Curse, in tandem with the Leper, who deals an enormous amount of damage, is always really strong. Especially on this mission, because a lot of times, like, there are a few enemies like the Giant on this mission who just has so much health, and being able to, like, remove their tanky armor and stuff is helpful. It'd be nice if we had somebody that could deal, like, I'd actually love to have a flagellant here, or maybe even a Hellion. Probably wouldn't be a bad choice either. I'd bring Montagu as well. He's level 2 though. I don't like that. I'd rather the character be at least level 3 on a long mission. I could bring Bondeville. He could take care of the 3rd slot. Yeah, I could be sold on this. I mean, it's not like the most amazing comp, but there are a few little random synergies going on here. One of the little synergies is here. We've got Bondeville can mark for death, and then immediately after that, the Houndmaster can just destroy the character that has the mark on them. So we can really just tear down one major target. Yeah, this comp's fine. We do want to make sure that we're properly spec'd on this this cultist though, because the cultist, we don't want to have that character absolutely destroy us again. In this particular case, it'd be a totally different way that he'd be destroying us. In this case, he would have no, skills leveled up, and so we'd go in there expecting that he was a reliable character, and now all of a sudden he can't do anything for us. Yeah. So he's just going to be healing people and weakening cursing people the whole mission. We don't have enough money to spend on all these other things. That's all he's going to do. I could do Demon's Pull as well here. I'm not really sold on that though. Just make him heal. And then the other guys on the team, who else? We said, yes, for sure, Hound's Rush. Then after that, Hound's Harry. I don't really care about the stress relief as much. Palmera, what do you got going on here? We do need to get shot for you, and I think that's all I'll do. Really all you're going to be doing the whole time. Now we need to sell something because we're going to need the extra money on this mission since it's a long one. Remove all the stuff here, all the trinkets from everybody, and then we're going to sort by rarity and see if we have 2 of something. The Book of Holiness we just bought, we're going to sell it because I don't really care about this item that much. Archer's Ring, yeah, get rid of that. We don't need that. 5,000 gold. I might just not look in the shop because I don't want to cry if there's something I like in there. I'm going to look anyway. The Calming Crystal, we don't really care about that. It's okay. Wow. It's not bad. I would like to have that at some point. It's not good, but oh my god, the oh wow. Thick-blooded is good in this character. She is like, thick-blooded is decent in general. Off guard is a weird one. Off guard is bad on certain characters and okay on others. This character is bad on. Like, it's good on the Vestal, but bad on the. I say it's good. It's not good on the Vestal. It's never. Being off guard is bad in general, but it's not as bad on the Vestal. It is bad on the Antiquarian because this character, you want to start the fight off by immediately like using invigorating vapors to make everybody dodge. And going last doesn't feel that good because you're always going to go last and you're always going to start off like using your vapors a little bit late. It just feels like the kind of character you want to be on guard, not off guard. Thick-blooded's good though, serviceable. Minus 5% melee damage is literally irrelevant. We don't care about that on this character. Ruins, Adventure, we don't like though. It's not that great. Twilight Dreamer's hilarious. Ignoring stealth is actually legit on a musketeer. That's crazy. Because like she's like the one that can snipe, right? So she's just like, I see you in the far back and just pops you. That's actually kind of cool. It's interesting. I don't know if it's like lockable. I don't think it's lockable probably on anybody. Natural's great. A great first perk on a character, but again, it's like a really early perk. We're at the stage now where like at level 0 we just throw items on characters. We don't really do this kind of stuff where we use natural. Natural's incredible in the first few, missions of the game. But it doesn't do anything as the game progresses on because it's still better to give her like really high tier trinkets even when she's level 0 than it is to like have her running around with nothing and using that extra little bonus she's getting. I don't think it's worth it. But yeah, I think really musicals, Perfectionist is obviously bad. Twilight and Perfectionist is made worse too, as something I didn't realize until somebody had pointed out to me. Perfectionist is an ability that if you miss one target, you'll get this. If you miss any of, I'm sorry, I should say this correctly. If you attack one person and you miss that person, you get stressed. If you attack 3 people and you miss on 2 of them, it still hit 1, you don't get stressed because you at least hit something, which is very generous in terms of how they've made this ability check for the stress check. but it's still bad on this character because this character is always attacking a single target. So it's the worst case scenario, right? Especially considering she's probably going to be attacking a lot. That's kind of her thing. I do like the flavor of her having the ability to see stealth things, though. The only character in this group I'm actually interested in is the Antiquarian, because thick-blooded plus off-guard. It would be easy to lock the thick-blooded and then get rid of the off-guard at the same time for no cost. I mean, very low cost, you know, like 600 gold or something. That's reasonable, but again, I don't really think there's anybody in the team like I'm excited to get rid of for her. All the level 0 characters I have, what is this? Cove Explorer and Nervous? Oh, never mind. Minus 20% stress in the Cove. Fine. Right? Like, the Cove is her place, but Nervous is kind of dumb. Yeah, I mean, I could be sold on getting rid of her for this other Antiquarian. This Miss Mallory here.
Those without the stomach for this place must move on.
Marisco. I think is your name, how you pronounce that. It's like Marisco. French names, man.
She searches where others will not go, and sees what others will not see.
I don't think there's anything really to say about that group. There's not really anything in there that's exciting to take home with us. Let's go ahead and drop everybody out of this. Oh, no, hold on. That was the team I want. Never mind. Let's pick their items. Berserk Mask, and for sure going to give him the Focus Ring because we need him to be hitting. I wish there was an item that was just like, you know, armor penetration or something. An item that gave armor penetration to characters. Although I guess that would probably trivialize like having to think about protection. Maybe, I don't know. What do I give this guy? I don't want him to be moved. Yeah, that's actually something that's bad about this comp. If this comp gets moved around, we are in trouble. None of these guys can move very easily. We're gonna take it right on the chin when that happens, but what can you do? I'm not gonna give him Dismiss his head. We have no meaningful way of getting rid of stress, right? This guy doesn't have... Oh, he does have Cry Havoc. Yeah, but it's not like a primary stress relief guy. That's not what he's gonna be focusing on. So I'm probably just gonna try to use more conservative items here. Items that don't increase stress, but are still serviceable and solid here. Who has the highest base protection out of this group? Well, a lot of them just have base 15 because of their level, right? Armor base, yeah. Oh, he's got 15 from his armor base. That's interesting. Oh, that's because they're all armor base level 2. Oh, these guys could probably have their armors level. I don't know if we can do that. We can't afford that right now. I'm gonna pretend like I didn't see that. How much, you know, they could level up their armor right now. What's his accuracy and his abilities here? 100%. Let's just give him a Berserk Charm. Extra damage, extra flat raw damage. Seems fine. I'm gonna give him the surgical gloves because if he gets moved, he gets moved. He's already got problems with being moved. Like if he gets moved, he gets moved. It's gonna suck no matter what. So might as well give him as much damage as I can possibly give him. Giving this guy extra dodge does get him close to that thing we were talking about. I could give him Camouflage Cloak. And then give him another dodge ability. That'd be hilarious, right? Just have him rolling around with dodge here. Got the Boots of Unmoving. Yeah, I don't like those. Like, I'm just not a big fan of Boots of Unmoving. I just think they're kind of mediocre at best. This item, yeah, 40% move resist. I think move resist sucks. I think it's awful. It's one of those things where, like, when it happens, it sucks, but, like, a lot of the times it doesn't end up happening. There are some enemies that can move your guy and really screw you up. Like, if you go up against a specific boss that moves everybody, it really sucks. But a lot of the times, it's an irrelevant stat, and it doesn't even matter. Obviously, whenever it does happen and, you know, you're, like, looking at it, it's one of those situations where, like, most of the time it doesn't matter, but when it does, you recognize it, and you're like, God dang it. But most of the time, it doesn't matter. I think I'm going to use... Yeah, plus... I think I will use Protective Collar here. Plus 12 dodge, minus 15% damage. This doesn't seem good, right? But the thing is, remember what he's going to be doing. He's just going to be Hounds harrying every single round. That's all he's going to be doing. Constantly just throwing out like the Hound. And his Hound's base damage is already minus 75%. I don't really care that it does even less damage than that. I'm going to be relying on him to bleed people, not deal damage to people. And then if I give him Sniper's Ring, then he really doesn't miss. And then or I guess if, in that case, it's not really about that's more about the bleed skill chance. So I want to give him extra chance to bleed. Might put extra bullet, but yeah, this seems reasonable. Bleed Amulet, guaranteed chance to bleed him when he does hit him. Yeah, you're thinking the same thing. I'm at extra bleed. Just don't know if there's really any other items that are good in this character than that right now. Yeah. And then again, I don't really think there's any item for this character that I'd care to bring with him. Maybe a better healing item like a Junia's head, but I don't need to be taking extra stress on this character. There's just no reason for it. I'd rather just like have him take less, or double down on the dodge. Do I have another ability or another item that gives extra dodge? The speed's kind of cute, but not really what we're looking for. What's his? He has a really low chance to find traps, right? Trap disarm 90%. I could just give him the survival guide. Just toss it on him. It's not hurting anything. I mean, I could also give him the evasion incense. I could. But I'm really going to... I mean, I don't think it's that much of a... We're talking of a marginal distance or difference, right? We're talking about an 8% increased chance to dodge. He's already got a 30% chance to dodge. I mean, it is creeping up there to the 40%. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's an extra 1 out of every 10 times he dodges, but whatever. All right. And that doesn't matter over a long mission, but for that same exact argument, now the survival guide is even better, right? More and more chance to actually scout is disgusting on larger and larger maps, which, by the way, is another reason why on a character like this, you would want something like the scout ahead, plus 25% scouting chance for the next 4 battles. It's actually insane. So I could see an argument for buying that on this character. Oh no, get out of here. I might actually go get that right now. What else do we have here that we care about though? What's in our comp? Because we're gonna camp multiple times here. We want to make sure our camping skills are decent. These camping skills are very okay. So you got the, oh yeah, man's best friend one that doesn't help his own teammates, which is crazy. I think I'd rather have therapy dog. Why do they always have man's best friend instead of therapy dog? I do like Hound's Watch though, that's insane. Prevents nighttime ambush, less chance to get surprised. Hound's Watch is great. Let's unlock this. Remap camping skills. I've never done it before. It's the first camping skill I've purchased. That's crazy. It's just so expensive. Like, obviously, you know, you can put points into it and remove... Oh, man. I should have thought about that. I could have bought this. I'm not going to worry about it right now. I already bought it. That's 54. Man, that's a lot. Huh. I think we're okay. I think this comp's fine as it is. Let's just go in. Alright, so we're going to go do this mission real quick and make sure, again, I'm just going to be paranoid here, make sure I have all my items. Okay, so in this mission, we might actually have to sell a few things, so, you know, forewarning, we may actually have to leave the provision screen and go back and reevaluate what we have here. All right, we got things that, well, you know, you really need to have, like these are the equivalent. These are basically equivalent in terms of like how much. Okay, these are just extra nonsense. Medicinal herbs would probably want like at least one more of those. Holy water's extra. We'll come back to that if we have space. So the food is where our bottleneck is. We're gonna have to sell something. I don't know if we can sell things from the screen though. I'd like to collect one of each item just for a rainy day, but at this stage I might just have to accept that I need to get rid of something. You know, we need to go on some more money runs here soon. I really don't like this item. Extra stress heal relieved whenever you're camping, although it might actually be decent in this round. The camper's helmet might actually have its highest utility in this mission because I could give this guy the camper's helmet, give him extra scouting chance, give him also the survival guide additional on top of that. Get rid of the Berserker charm off of him. Just leave him with surgical gloves. Wait, does this have move resistance? No. Plus 20% stress, heal, receive. We're going to relieve stress because of... We know we're going to use stress relief when we go... Right? Yeah. We could do that. That's reasonable. It's not... It's a weird thing to do. I've literally never used this item. Plus 20% stress heal receive while camping. It's just who am I kidding? It's awful. That's bad. Maybe I should sell recovery charm. Plus 40% healing receive is just goofy. I'm gonna sell those 2 items. And then after that, we will just buy whatever we have left over here. Buy the rest of the food here. Oh, not everything. I think we've got a healer. We've actually got... Does he have healing? No, he doesn't have it. And he doesn't have healing either. So never mind. We just have the one dedicated healer. We do want to bring extra bandages because this location has a lot of bleeding, but we also got Mr. Bleeds a lot over here. And then after that, we've got medicinal herbs. I don't really care about getting that much more. I usually try to bring 1 additional shovel beyond the normal stack here at this location because you quickly use one and then you've got a full stack after that. Just whatever. I mean, it is an extra 250 gold. It is a cost. It's not nothing. But there are multiple things you can use the shovel on in this location too. I think the Weald is the best place to bring shovels. And of course we need torches, so we need 12 of these. Or 16 of these, I think, probably, or so. Yeah, I think this was about as good as we're going to get. Unless we were to bring, you know, more bandages, which I think is marginal at this stage. Extra bleed, you say? Oh, extra bleed resist, I think is what you're saying. I think this is pretty good. I don't think there's really a lot else I want to bring to this comp. Could bring a single holy water. Sure, whatever. Let's go. All right, let's do this.
Corruption has soaked the soil, sapping all good life from these groves. Let us burn out this evil.
Look how good that was. Look at this, though. Like, it's one straight line. Complete 100% of room battle, so we're locked into going left. We don't have a choice here. I'm just going to go all the way to the end and fight everybody first. That way I know... Oh, wow. What's his chance of removing this trap? 100%. Great. I'm going to go all the way to the end and use up as many items as I can in battles first before I waste any of my... before I, like, loot anything. Because, you know, you're always going to have more space on the way back than you are the first trip through. Case in point right here.
Yourself, a victim to the spreading corruption. Malformed with misintent.
No reason to be stressed out more than necessary, so we will build up... Oh, wow. Okay. This is a freebie. We'll take it, though.
Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
It's nice to have a mission where we don't have to worry about anything.
Executed with impunity.
Okay.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
And again, we'll come back. I'm not worried about that right now. Oh, this is a room battle. I should have used the light. Or the torches. That's okay, though. I can use them now.
Obliterated.
It's nice to go first against those guys because they always hit so hard so fast when you can get away with it. Sure, probably horror. Just straight stress, that's okay. This is when you could Hound's Harry. I'm not going to since already one of them is gone. Although I need to use that pretty often and very quickly because of the dog treats. That can be sold in using the dog treats. That's alright. Just use them and get them out of your inventory. Main reason here isn't because I need the extra damage, it's really just because I don't want to carry around more dog treats. Well, it's just an extra wasted slot. A dodge for dodge seems like a fair trade to me, dude. He did not like getting hit by the dog, so he hit the dog right back. Alright, just take one of these guys out of here. Oh, wait, do I have Hugh?
As the fiend falls, a faint hope.
Although it does create an awkward situation where nobody's going to be able to attack this round. That's funny. Oh, never mind. She get to go first, so never mind. Now she reveals herself. Okay, well, she's gonna dodge everything. She has 29 dodge. Good lord. Dodge this. Channels my inner Neo. Let's just switch you back. I'm so guaranteed to win this that I'm gonna spend my round moving our guys back to where they need to be.
Surges as the enemy crumbles.
Yeah, okay. That's a lot of money. Like a lot of money. I'm just gonna drop that dog treats, guys. I know that seems really crazy, but we don't. Or I guess I could drop the holy water. I'll do that. I'm not grabbing this until I go all the way to the end. I'll come back, as I said. I'm gonna grab this on the way back too. And that. I'm not touching any of those until we get all the way to the end. Alright. Use the torch real quick or the light. I think this thing's it's unholy. I thought it was a human for a second. Alright, just take out the front guy because he's human. 2 health. Hew then.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy
Howl.
them all.
Seems like a good use of the dog howl here. So yeah, protection he does. Remove that now, please. This is why we brought this dude. Remove half that protection right away. All right, so we can do a few things here. I might actually use this time to remove stress. That's how we lose long-term is stress. And howl adds a lot. Not as good of a roll there, but that's okay. Do I have the ability to stun him? I could. 60% chance it hits? Okay. I think it's still worth it. Give it a shot.
Masterfully executed.
Alright, dude. Howl's annoying, man.
The abyss
Oh, look at all those
turns even the boldest gaze.
all those avoided stressful moments there. Heal for 18. Slick. And no bleed. I'll take it. Remove that. Armor, so we hit, like, for... Oh, I missed on the removal. Wow.
Their cursed champion falls.
Never matted. Alright, use that torch immediately.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Now I will get rid of the dog treat. I probably should have just used it, but whatever. There's that horror stacking. Use a torch.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
I won't be using any more torches though until we get all the way back to this battle, and then I'll sleep right before it. Sure. Yep. One downside though is I've actually got 2 dudes, or I guess we got 2 chests on the way back home that I'm gonna have to open, and we have like no space for it. That's obnoxious. It's a first world problem. Too many treasures to pick up. I'm gonna hew here and try to take out this second guy while also dealing a little to the front guy.
Their formation
There was a percentage chance we killed them both, but
maintain the offensive.
I'm just gonna try to kill the culprit. I could just kill this. I don't know actually.
Press this advantage.
Oh, he dodged it. Well, that makes it look really bad. That's all right. I didn't bring the Damon's Pool, but that's not that big a deal. All right, it's 2 dodges. This guy is styling on us over here. Dodged twice. All right, let's stun him. Let's see if you can dodge this one. Shut up, nerd. Stand there. Stand there and take every hit in the face. I'm actually just gonna howl. Remove stress where possible. Come on, man. He's the one that needs the stress relief. This guy has dodged 3 times. Stop. Stop moving.
A devastating blow.
He dodged 3 times and then take a crit to the face. Well, it was good that he crit. Actually, that got rid of some of that stress on that dude. You deserve it. You dodged 3 times. Get out of my face.
This expedition at least promises success.
Man! Let's drop the anti-venom. That seems so weird, but we're gonna do it. Like, we're at the beginning of the mission. To drop that much anti-venom seems very strange. Okay. This is one of those missions. This is one of those fights that can secretly just completely ruin your run if you don't watch out, because these guys are perfectly synergized. The fungal batteries in the back can mark us, and then the fungal grabbers can just crit for like 15, 20s. They can do enormous amounts of damage instantly. So we're gonna pile damage onto one single target, and we got very lucky that our occultist got to go first here. We're gonna just try to rip through one of these as fast as possible. Yep, that's annoying. Those marks suck. Just kill this one, please. Okay, sure. Bleed him, bleed him, bleed him. Yes, he's gone. I just wanted to see one of them be...
Quickly the tide turns.
Okay, that guy's gonna crit too. I just wanted to see one of those guys go down because those are the guys that can just hit for a crazy amount off of those marks. He's just gonna rend the mark and do an enormous amount of damage. Well, 7 doesn't seem that bad, but it's still a lot. All right, we'll just take this one guy out here. I'm gonna mark for death this guy and just let the dog just rip him. Oh, right, what am I doing? The dog's not going to deal a lot of damage because I have protective collar. So I guess the mark combo is not going to be as good right now because the bounty hunters... It's not terrible. The bounty hunter can still consume the mark. They can both take turns consuming that mark every round for a while. But it could have been better. Huh. That's all right. The dog, the Houndmaster has a lot of other uses in this comp anyway, so it's not that big a deal. We're not going to be able to kill this guy this round. I might... He's already marked. I might use Withstand. Give him some extra protection. Maybe they'll attack him instead. Yeah, that sucks. Sure, that's fine. He's going to be able to withstand all that. He's already got a mark on it. It doesn't matter. Now I really wish I had that antidote that you never seem to have whenever you need it, right? All right. Just kill this guy. Doesn't look good whenever you mark a guy and then he miss on him the next round. He should be dead, though. It's unfortunate. Yep. Gotta take this guy out. He represents the only real serious threat here. Nice. Now we're good. Now we can play around a little bit and heal and do some other things. That's a play heal for sure. Leave these front lines alone, dude. Chill out. He needs heals. Bad. So much damage that you can deal to this guy, but you have to be able to get through that meat in the front. Alright, that's solid. Serviceable. And he didn't bleed, which is good. So that'll basically offset the 8 he's going to take in the next 2 rounds. Let's try to take out the one that's going to deal damage to us now. It's not efficient damage over time, but it's like efficient in the sense that we don't take damage right now, and I don't want to take any more damage. We might be able to even... We're not going to stun this guy, but we're going to bring him forward. Oh, he has 45 move resist, and he still stayed put. Tapeworm, huh? Is that the one where he, like, eats 1 extra food every time? I think that's what that is. Make sure of that. Yeah, he eats 100% more food. That's funny. Let's just start punching him. And, man! Get these bodies out of my way. Get over here. This guy just keeps on hitting us with, like, blight. Get out of here, dude. All right, I'm gonna heal some people here. Okay. Relax. This guy has landed like 15 blights on our guys. Shut up, dude. Get out of here. Trying to make yourself look better than you are. Okay, now you crit. I want this guy to heal. This guy has taken so much random... That guy applied so many random blights to us.
Unforgiving.
We're gonna camp right now. I'm gonna get this money. How much food do we have? A lot. Gonna use it all. Get rid of some stress too. We have a lot of stress relief here. Let's Hound's Watch here. Therapy dog, remove stress from people. Does anybody have the ability to remove blight and bleed? You do. Fantastic. Alright, after that, we're really good. We don't have anything to worry about. I'm being really liberal with my use of this firewood because we just have so much resources, and I just want to kind of make sure that we're in a good spot moving forward. Now, moving forward, food is going to be a bigger concern now, right? Because we just aggressively use that, but that's okay. I can't use Therapy Dog. That's essentially relevant here. I could just remove more of these random blights, but I don't think it's really worth it. How about I remove more stress? You would remove stress from who? Can you remove stress? Nobody can remove stress from this guy. He can remove stress from himself, but nobody else can. Okay. What do we got? 3? This is how we do it's okay here. I really don't know if any of these are any good here. Wound, I think I'll probably do like wound care and get rid of his This seems like such a bad use of that, but minus 25% stress on him is hilarious considering everybody else would take, what, 5? Sure. Oh. By the way, that said that they would take, look, read that ability. 50% chance they'll take 5, 50% chance they'll take 10, which means that they rolled 50%, both of them rolled 50% yes on both of them. So they both took 15 each, and actually they took more than that. I don't even understand how that works, but yeah, I got trolled a bit there. That's okay, it gives somebody for our dog to howl about. Ridiculous. All right,
The light,
well, let's go.
the promise of safety.
Bad rolls are bad there. All right, we're doing just fine. Gonna be a long walk home though. A lot of random hunger checks. It's annoying. But on the upside, we got a lot of random things to look through, which is cool, I guess. No space for all that. Do I use this 2 food here right away and take this? I said food's gonna be a problem for us, but like we're gonna have to end up doing this no matter what, so I'm gonna do it now. We're never coming back here, so we have to do this now. We're kind of priced into it.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
Yikes, dude. We already have a sickening satchel, so I'm gonna switch it for the gold. We're gonna need the extra slots for this item's never coming home. I mean, realistically, guys, this item's not coming home with us. We've already got almost 5 full stacks of gold. We're sitting on a deed stack. These items at the top, well, these items at the top are gonna get used, right? We've already got half the items we're gonna take home, and we haven't even opened the next chest in the next room. Like, and we haven't even gone through half the mission. That item is not coming home with us. I mean, there might even be an argument to leave this chest and not open it. Like, literally, there might be an argument to, because the odds of us finding 2 more chests are pretty high. Yeah, that sucks. So here, the argument could be made that we just drop the key. We already have an enormous amount of good items here. Like, drop the key, drop the... That seems bad, but we're going to drop this for the deeds. I mean, these items feels really bad to drop these, but what else would you drop? I mean, what else can you drop here? You could say keep the skeleton key, but why? What are we going to do with it? Open another chest and find the same items we're taking right now? We're going to find those items randomly by just going forward. This is what you drop. It just feels weird. It's what you drop. And there's no choice there. That's why it sucks to find all the items at the very beginning. Although the nice part was we get to eat this food immediately, and it doesn't, you know, we've already got a full stack. That's good. We're gonna wish we had this food later. We're not taking a journal entry, that's for damn certain. It's like an embarrassment of riches. We're like finding all the good items right now, and we haven't even began to cover this mission yet. We're not even back to the main room yet. We gotta go through 100% of the room battles. I'll bet you money the very last room is, and we have tapeworm. And we have tapeworm. I don't know if we're gonna be able to beat this mission without getting checked multiple times.
For a task well performed.
I guess the upside is, like, we do have a healer, so, I mean, if we can keep our stress levels down and heal people in the middle of a fight and keep that heal up, it doesn't even matter, right? Treasures? Whatever, dude. Yeah, I guess we'll take the emerald. We're not taking this, though. The sapphire? What are we gonna do with it? No space for it. This required the vial, right? Dude, no way. Well, I'll take the torch. That actually worked out okay. Okay. Now we got surprises, too. So we have a few choices here. We could just try to take out the back line immediately. Actually, I'm going to Hound's Rush and then just try to pile on the front guy. What am I talking about? I couldn't do that anyway because these guys don't hit back lines. I was thinking I still had Reign of Sorrows with the Flagellant. We don't have him with us right now. What is his dodge? 14, and he has 40% protection. I think I might take a turn off to, like, withstand. And have him be the main target for all the fight. And then after that, with this, you know, try to rip the dogs in the back apart. And the nice part about bleed is it just essentially ignores the, you know, the mini game of his protection. So now I'll start stripping away his armor, and that'll nicely... Oh, I missed. Come on, man. I'm not gonna use the dog to attack just him, so marking him doesn't make any sense. I might just try to stun him. It's probably gonna miss, but... Oh, I got it! That's good. Yep. Sure. This is funny. The dogs are going to reposition themselves in the front, and then I'll have to be able to hit the back line. This actually works out really nice because it means that if our leopard gets to go early, he might be able to hew the front 2 line immediately, and then we'll just have one guy to deal with the whole fight. That's actually funny. 3 dodges was nice.
Gnawing uncertainty.
All right.
The birthplace of dread.
Just stress that, or just remove that guy as much as possible, and then we'll focus on the front line if possible. These 2 guys using Rabid Rush to run to the front is hilarious. Raise. I don't know if that's the guy you want to be rabiesing. He hits pretty hard. You'll love to see that. He's just going to bleed out here. Great. Okay, now we're just going to try to hit for a lot. Rabies is a buff when it hits. I don't really have a preference here with what he does. He has decreased raw damage because of his item.
Weapon that cuts on its own.
Yep. 10's a lot, and a lot of stress too, yep. That ability really does hurt. Took out half his health instantly. Get out of here, dude. Alright. Let's remove some stress, if possible. We'll take it. Any little amount will help. I'll throw another stun at him. I could kill him, but I'm not going to try to because I'm going to take a second to try to heal if possible. It's really greedy, but if I get to attack before he gets to attack, then it doesn't even matter. Oh, I didn't mean to stun. No! I stunned him anyway! 2 stuns in a row? Okay.
Monstrous size has no intrinsic merit.
Do you have any idea how...
Unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
You have any idea how low the percentage chance was to stun him though? I think his base stun is 70%. Base stun resist. I stunned him, and then he got 50% on top of that, which would have taken him to 130%, no, 120% chance to resist stun. And then his ability has a percent chance to stun of 130%. He had a 10% chance to stun him, and he stunned him twice. That's some wild shit. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you said that's streamer luck diff. Yeah, it's exactly right. What do I do here? I'm at the start of the mission and I'm full on inventory. This is some serious first world problem crap, dude. I'm gonna drop the crest and take the deeds over the crests, first off, if I had to choose between the 2. And then the question is, do I care about taking the crest over 3 torches? And I think I probably would. Because if I take the 3 torches, or the 2 torches...
Purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
This money is already at 3K. That's good. It makes the emerald look pretty good here. Makes me wish I had earlier kept the blue one as well, the sapphire. Because I was at the start of the mission, I probably marginally could have argued I'm probably going to run into another sapphire before this mission's over. But see, go without. Yeah, I was thinking about this. Like, I mean, I'm only getting 2 torches out of this. I can go until the torch dims to 0, and then firewood, get my torches back one time, and keep 1 stack, and just keep these 2 items for that. At that stage, the only thing I got to worry about is food. And I am going to need to get some more food because I'm going to run out because Mr. Tapeworm over here. I have to keep the shovels, right? So the question is, would I rather take the gold over one of these other things? And I don't think the answer is yes here. Is the gold better than 3 deeds? I don't think so. Is the gold better than 6 crests out of 12? We're going to find the other 6 crests likely. I've got 92 crests right now, dude. Crests are not the problem. Let's take the money over the crests. I want money. Like, I keep running out of money. That's what I need. Yeah, you can get out of here. I don't want any eggs. I'm good. Dude, a second hunger check? The mission just started! Ugh. Oh, man. Yeah, we're gonna get destroyed by hunger in this mission. I can already sense it. I think this guy has protection. Yeah, 25% protection. And then we'll just try to deal a lot of damage to Mr. Front Guy. And then since you're a human, we'll try to teach you something. And then we'll Hound's Rush here. Actually, let's Harry, because Harry will hit the invisible guy. Or no, actually, I don't really care. Let's just hit the guy who has... No, but... No, we have a guy who's designed around bleeding as much as possible and dealing as little raw damage as possible.
A singular strike.
Alright. Alright, dude. 4 damage is a lot. On an AoE ability. No reaction at all from me from seeing a crit in the leper. The leper is just like 8 million health.
Mortality clarified in a
That hurts a little bit more. I might actually have a justification for camping here soon. Take this guy out real quick here. I could actually just... No, let's just kill him. I was thinking about...
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
I was thinking about stunning the next guy. That's crazy. I'll hew here, because I can get away with it. And then here I could... Everybody's bleeding too much. I can't really justify this. I'll get punished for that. We're not doing that. Just try to knife him. I knew he was going to miss. That ability has a very low chance of hitting. Yeah, that sucks. Oh, nice dodge, though. Really good for us. This is not going to kill anybody. Whatever, I guess. Oh, I did.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Yep. Take him out.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
I'm just using the food, guys. I mean, right? Like... Found a map. And I have to go this way because of 100% room battles. You jerk. This game, man. And I can't camp because I just ate my last food, which I was gonna do no matter what. I want to camp, but I need to find a little bit of food before I do it. I'm not interacting with this. I really need some help from a food cart or something. Somebody call a food cart. I could abandon the quest. I mean, we're not really in a problem right now. I mean, I'm not going to abandon it until we hit that moment where we have no choice. Okay. My one guy who, like, deals an enormous amount of damage to humans missed. That's always nice. Just kill this guy. Cool, dude. How many dodges are you gonna give these dudes, man? That was 4 dodges that they got first attack. We surprised them, but it didn't matter because every single person on their team dodged. Whatever on that. We might end up having to run if this is what's gonna happen. I mean, that was a crazy amount of dodges in a row. This guy's gonna hit death's door. Just off of cheese. Too many dodges too quick. Yep. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to abandon this one. It sucks though. I really wanted that item. The store. Whatever. Yep. Watch him pull him to the front. I won't be able to heal him. Oh, it still works. Interesting. Huh. Well, let's see you roll a natural 0, right? 7's good. That's fine. No more bleeding is also surprising. All right. That's fine. I don't care about that guy. You can stress him out all you want. We're not going to be staying for much longer. We can't. We got cheesed by this long mission deciding to take us the wrong... Leave the same guy alone. Stop attacking the same guy 85 times. I know with your internal counter, you do that on purpose. Get over here so I can punch you in the face. All right, remove the stress, I guess. Still playing this as if I'm gonna stay. Of course, the guy who I don't want to get. The rolls are bad. This guy has missed 2 in a row this mission. Like, this is the one time I need you against humans. Well, 19 heals pretty good. Let me guess, you're gonna attack the leper? Let's remove stress. Good. Best case scenario there. Try to take this one guy out, please. Oh, you hit. Good. Finally. We really needed some help there. Be greedy. Be greedy. Get the extra.
Eradicated.
Nothing we can use. Nothing we can take. Literally all just random items. We're literally just gonna have to dodge. We're gonna have to run here. This is the wildest crap. We don't have food. I can't camp. We're not ever camping again, right? That just won't ever happen, so I'm taking those. We're not taking those. The money I can't do anything with. I guess I'll take the onyx.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Do I drop the shovels? For 1,000 gold here? The reason I'm thinking about dropping the shovels is because if we're leaving, why not, right? We just bought ourselves another push. The only thing that's going to send us home now is like a hunger check, which, you know, knowing our luck is going to hit. But I'm not going to camp. I just don't see it happening anymore. The gold is, I mean, whatever at this stage. The onyx is 2 onyx. We're pretty far into the game to be caring about onyx, or halfway through the mission. I mean, you could justify doing it if we had the space, but we don't have the space. Yeah, that's fine. As we are, I think we can take what we have. The torches I'm still taking, though, because on the off chance we find food, and I'm able to, like, drop the shovels for food. If I find a stack of, like, 7, 8 food, I'm going to replace the portraits with it, or replace the busts. If I find it. But I'm not going to be able to camp. I just want to have the opportunity. We don't really have a real meaningful way of removing stress anyway. He has his own, like, minus 20 or 25 stress, which does make me feel sad. But I don't see a world where we're going to be able to meaningfully be able to get away with that. Like, how are we going to camp? Because we're going to take stress immediately. If I camped right now, I would get hunger checked immediately at the start of the camp, which would then immediately put him over the edge. I can't do it. I just literally can't. I can't have you stressed out. I can't take a chance it's you that gets... Okay, switch you guys around. And we'll have the guy that has no stress check this. Sure. All this extra care just for nothing happened. You can't write this, man. You literally can't write a better joke than this.
Packs full of steel.
See ya.
War. But nary a thought given to the plow.
Yeah, you can't take that seriously. That's just bad luck. Like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I guess we've been to 11 rooms and we've been hunger checked at least 3 times. Was it 4? I just don't know, like, what I could have done better. Well, I'm not going to get hunger checked again. Not in this next hallway. So I'm going to go one hallway real quick and before I go to this mission. I'm just going to see what's going on with these 3 curios at least. But another hunger check there was just insulting. No money. We're leaving, so I'm just gonna drop the shovels, take the money. Sure, stress them out, it's fine. Look at this.
Do not ruminate on this fleeting failure. The campaign is long, and victory will come.
I'm not even mad. That was just the perfect storm of stupid. That was so stupid. He got tapeworm, and so the one source of food we found, he was like, I gotta have it. I'm gonna take it all for me. I was like, are you kidding me? I've never even seen that trigger. Like, nothing bad happened in that mission. Who cares? But it was just so troll. Thin-blooded is awful. You know, now that I understand a little bit more about how dodge works, which I was always comfortable with dodge being a percentage, but I didn't really understand like how powerful dodge could be at higher tiers, because I just assumed that enemies would become like insanely accurate at higher tiers. But if their progression on their abilities is anything like ours, where every additional level only goes up by like 10% chance or whatever, if your opponent's abilities have an accuracy start of like 80% and they're going up to like 120% at max, something like Daredevil could be decent. Is it good? No, it's fine, serviceable. But I'm sitting here thinking, it seems like I have a favorite, right? When I talk about like the Flagellant, I actually think this would be crazy in the Flagellant. Actually think that would be crazy, right? Like, I don't know, but I guess the Flagellant doesn't have a high base chance to dodge anyway, so maybe not. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, opponent's getting high.
And the pistol. A fitting end to my folly, and a curse upon us all.
Like the guy's talking, just talking slowly. And I'm waiting on him. And then in addition to that, an interesting, unique thing popped up. All of these things stopping me from trying to answer this thing in chat. Said opponents get crazy high dodge at higher levels. Yeah, but I wasn't really talking about their ability to dodge. I was talking about our ability to dodge them. But yes, Shard Harvest. This says plus 25 shards. I've never seen this happen. I just get 25 shards. That's nice. I didn't even know that was a random event. Never seen that before. I'll take it. I mean, let's see what we can get out of it. Maybe we can buy something. I think we already have a Lock of Fury, right? We talked about that being a good item. Did we ever get it? Yeah, we did. We did get it. We did a mission to get it. I think a really good item in the Abomination. We haven't really had much opportunity to use the Abomination since we acquired that item, but I think it's a solid generic item. I talked about why, because the Abomination doesn't really crit with like the I want to call it Thrash. I made a joke about that. I think one of the first episodes. It makes me think of Gyarados' ability in Pokemon, like the ability he keeps on attacking. It deals more damage every additional attack. What's it called again? Rend? Not Rend. Rake. That's right, Rake. Every additional attack buffs him for the next one, the next hit, and it keeps on buffing itself. That plus a flat extra 10% raw damage suddenly makes him just do enormous amounts of damage to the frontliners. And if they have no armor, they're gone. And if they're just a big dumb tank with huge amounts of health but no protect, they're gone, and then the next wave is gone, and it's just a matter of 3 rounds, and they're dead. And if it's against like specific bosses, it can be even more disgusting. Like the Abomination is pretty good against the Insulate Flesh or the Flesh, because the Flesh is just raw health and just this big health battery that doesn't really have much in the way of like resistance. There's like one of like I think 4 of the different forms it takes, because each form we haven't run into it yet, but the Flesh is like it's a giant boss, right? 4 slots. It takes it 4 slots. The biggest boss, I think, in the game. But it's just this giant amoebic amalgamic, mass of like, flesh. And it has different forms that they can all randomly take at different positions. One of them has huge resistance or protection. But besides that one, if you roll the ones that have like no resistance, they're just a giant tank, like a giant health battery, the Abomination can just hit both for like 18, hit 2 slots for 18, 2 slots for 18. That thing's health is gone. In like 2 rounds, it's just gone. And then you stack on flat damage, it can just be disgusting. Obviously, though, that would require you to heavily lean on the Abomination beast form, because it would not be good to bring the Abomination and rely on the other half of him, because the beast's bile is pretty bad in the Warrens. They have high resistance to blight, although the chain's ability, is it chain whip ability, the manacles ability is pretty good. Just this, we already saw that in a previous episode too, like the base stun, and that's really high, and if you roll it with a few good items, it can be really crazy, particularly the items that we put on there were like the Broken Key plus 35% base stun chance. What are you talking about? 15 extra accuracy? This might be the best stun item in the game. I mean, no joke. Raw stats is just stupid. Plus 10% stress in order to hit an extra 7 out of every 20 stuns. It's absurd. 15 accuracy even makes it even juicier too. You're just gonna hit when you do swing. All right, let's get Karna in here. Get rid of this. Who do you have? Tapeworm. God. That irritated me. That little tapeworm thing that happened to us. Get rid of rabies as well. Well, we've already seen why I think rabies is good. Rabies is not a bad ability. I think it's a buff. Minus 10 accuracy seems really bad until you realize that you're... Now, I will say, we did just see in the last mission, whoa, but he missed twice. You saw him miss in that last fight twice. Maybe it was 3 times over like two fights. I agree. When it feels bad, it feels bad. But an extra 15% damage if you throw an item on him. We went into that mission with him not having the tapeworm. I'm sorry. I meant to say not having rabies, right? And he got it in the mission. In the mission that he was already holding a berserk charm, which lowered his his accuracy by 5. It looked worse than it really plays. If you can offset, like if I get rid of the berserk charm entirely, which is giving us an extra 15% damage, think about this for a second. Plus 15% damage, minus 5 accuracy. The speed's bonus, whatever, the stress is bad, the virtue chance is bad. But imagine that if I said, okay, now I'm just gonna give you rabies, plus 15% damage, minus 10 accuracy. And then I switch the berserk charm for an accuracy ring, right? I think that's on our, hold on one second here. I think that was on our leper. I want to make sure I sort everything here. Not by class, by rarity. Yeah, so get back to what I was saying here. So if you give him the focus ring, now he's got plus 10 accuracy instead of minus 5. But he's also hidden. He's, instead of losing, so it's, okay, let me make sure I'm saying this correctly. With the Berserk Charm, he's losing 5 accuracy, 5%. With this item on, he's gaining 10%, which is a difference of 15%. Then the rabies drop him by 10 back. So he's essentially, with Focus Ring on, not losing any accuracy at all, because he's starting at flat base, right? Because he has minus 10% from rabies, plus 10% from the Focus Ring, so he's hitting for regular accuracy. But then he's got plus 5% crit. It's just a plus 5% crit. And you're like, well, that's terrible. No, but it's, think about, would you use an item that gives minus 8 dodge, plus 5% crit, and plus 15% damage? I would. With no stress downsides, no other negatives? I think that's actually a buff. I think it's solid. I mean, I'd have to run the numbers on it, but I mean, it's not Dismiss's head levels of damage, but Dismiss's head, again, it's giving an extra 10% more, sure, in raw damage, but it's also lowering your health and giving extra stress, 20% stress over the course of the fight. I actually don't think it's a bad trade. I really do think it's solid. And that's and another thing to be said here, you can also run Focus Ring on him and then give him Dismiss's head. And now all of a sudden he's hitting for an extra 40% raw damage. I don't know. I'd have to run the numbers on it, but I don't think rabies is actually terrible if you're, trying to optimize for damage and you have an item like Focus Ring to offset that accuracy. And then that's not even including if you have a character like, like this character who literally has this is how we do it, and he can increase his own accuracy and crit. Now all of a sudden it's a real question. It's like, okay, I have a higher base raw damages. My range for raw damage is higher. I have a higher crit chance, so that can make me hit for just absurd. I can hit for 40 as a level 4 character, like be hitting for 40s, like 50s maybe. I actually think it's a reasonable thing to try. In terms of things I would probably want to do this round, I need to just be disciplined here and like send Isfini to take out some stress here. Look how much money we have now. We went from nothing to a lot. Even though we lost the mission and we didn't get our stress ring, we still walked out with 15,000. I feel good about it. I don't know. I'm not really sure if it's good or not. It's an interesting question. It really is. Rabies is like the only disease I've seen in the game that I'm actually like not turned off by. I don't think it's that bad. I guess the question is, do you believe minus 10 accuracy is worse than plus 15% damage? And I think the answer is emphatically, like, without a doubt, accuracy is more important than raw damage. Minus 10 accuracy feels, it's bad. It's not good. But if you could just offset it with one item, that's giving extra on top of it. And like we were talking earlier, dodge is not that important of a stat. Minus 8 dodge is part of the cost of like the accuracy ring or focus ring. Focus ring? Yeah. -8 dodge is part of the cost, but that really doesn't matter. If you just ignore that, I mean, how many items -8 dodge is like a drop in the bucket? So you're talking like out of every 100, right? Out of every 100 attacks against you, it's 8 more that are going to hit you. Out of every 100. Or I guess you could like lower that if you wanted to. Divide it, maybe cut it in half, it'd be 4 in every 50, 2 in every 25. 2 out of every 25 attacks are going to hit you. Over the course of a long mission, that matters, right? It does, over a long mission, but I don't think that's that much at all. Pretty offsettable by other traits as well. It's, again, another, like I said, a drop in the bucket. But the 10 accuracy, like, that obviously is bad whenever you're attacking your enemies. And you can make the argument, it's like, well, how the heck does it matter one way but not the other? But I guess the trait, the real concern here is it's plus 10 accuracy, minus 18 dodge. It's actually, it's a 18% spread in damage for your team versus your opponent on one character. I really would have to crunch some numbers on this. I'm going to get rid of it on principle. But I really don't know if rabies is that bad. And we saw, I think I used it to relative success when I was playing on my Musketeer and we fought against one of the bosses. I think it was the Swine Prince. I think we used it on. But either way, I feel like it's great early in mid-game, but late-game the accuracy debuff would suck more. Oh, yeah. No, I could definitely see that because you're talking about essentially at the end of the game when your enemies have 40 dodge. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Your character hits every other hit, it feels like. All right, we need to get this guy in here and de-stress him. Wait, he's not like... He doesn't have to. He can drink, right? Yeah, let's have him do that instead. Elsewise, is there anybody else that needs to be, like, removed stress-wise? No, everybody else is pretty okay here. Sort by level here. I think, really... I might just look at items real quick. See what we got for people. I don't think it's the case that I'm going to be going back. Oh, my God. Look at the rolls on this dude. Beast Slayer is incredible. Luminous is incredible. These are both tier S lockable quirks on every person in the game outside of the Vestal and the Antiquarian. Beast Slayer's a little weird on this guy. It's not perfect on him because he's more of an Eldritch fighter as well as a... Actually, what am I talking about? Never mind. This guy can fight every enemy in the game. He's just not good at it. What I mean by not... Let me actually step back. What I'm saying is this guy shines at healing, massive heals, and debuffs, right? And most of the time, extra damage is not that important, right? Extra damage is not that important on something like Weakening Curse or Vulnerability Hex. They aren't that great because you don't need to deal extra flat damage on abilities that already have minus 90% damage modifiers, right? It is not often the case that you're playing the occultist with the explicit intent on dealing damage. He's not usually a damage dealer. Sometimes he can be an off damage dealer. He can be like your second place guy. You can use that occultist's cauldron or whatever, extra 20% damage or whatever it is. You can do some cool things with him. You can give him an Eldritch Ring and have him deal a bunch of damage in a single battle. Put him in the front against the thing from the stars, if it's coming up, and then for the rest of the entire mission, he can be in the back. He's incredible against the thing from the stars. Like, there's no character in the game that's better to fight against the thing from the stars except for him, because he deals extra damage to Eldritch, and he also removes the armor from the thing from the stars when he hits a second form, or protection. But the thing about this character, though, is Beast Slayer is okay on him. Beast Hater, I think, is bad. Beast Hater is the one that gives him raw damage, and this guy does less percentage raw damage on his main abilities, because most of the time when you're playing this class, you're not really using Sacrificial Stab. We saw why, by the way. He missed like 4 times. There has a base accuracy of 80. It's awful. Sacrificial Stab is just a terrible ability. I mean, does it deal a lot of damage? Yeah, it can deal a lot of damage to Eldritch, but it misses 1 out of every 5 attacks. Without even considering your opponent's dodge. No. Not interested. And Abyssal Artillery is also okay. These are solid if you can give him an ability like Sniper's Ring, sit him in the back with Abyssal Artillery, but what are you going to do for Sacrificial Stab? That doesn't work on that item. Or you can't use Sacrificial Stab from slot 4. I just think this ability is bad. The crit mod's cool, right? 9%. I guess if you gave him like the focus ring and then gave him like the eldritch, like, I don't know, I guess you could probably build around it, but at that point I just feel like you could probably run a different character, because now you're basically putting all these items on him just to get that extra 15% damage versus eldritch, and there are characters that just deal raw damage that are higher than this character, and you can just give them the eldritch ring. And this character is much better. This character's core abilities that are any good at all are these three. Abyssal Artillery and Sacrificial Stab are cute. They can be used earlier in the game. I'm not using them late game very much at all. Hands from the Abyss is cool. It can stun, but there are much better stunners in the game. The weird part about this character is how many abilities he has that just crit. Like, why does he have plus 9% crit on this ability? Plus 5% crit on this ability? Plus 5% crit on this ability? Plus 9% crit on this? Oh, there's no crit on this at all. But he's got all kinds of wild crit abilities. It's just so goofy. His heal is where it's really at, right? Which we obviously know. The vulnerability hex is better late game. We've been seeing how strong weakening curse is, but we haven't got the chance to showcase vulnerability hex. The ability to strip an enemy of their ability to dodge later in the game is very good. It feels real bad when it misses round one, because then nobody else gets to hit, or they have a higher chance of missing, and then every subsequent time you use this. So like the first time you land vulnerability hex feels really good, because then you know the next one's more likely to hit, and then you know the next one's more likely to even hit, and then their just dodge is gone. But if you miss the first one, it feels like huge, like it's like a big deal, because it just has cascading effects the rest of the fight. Your guys don't hit as easily, and then he doesn't land subsequent dodge removals. I think Demon's Pool, whatever, is alright. Clearing all the corpses, dealing a little bit of damage, or whatever. The crit mod's hilarious. He has so many abilities to crit. And that was my point. And this was why I was saying Beast Slayer solid on him. Because Beast Slayer increases his accuracy, which is what he's bad at. And increases his crit against beasts, which again, he can crit like a mad lad. His base damage is terrible, but that's okay. When you crit, it's like you go from doing 2 damage to 3 damage. It's like, well, why would I care about that? You don't really care about that. But it does increase the chance of like, when you do crit, it does increase the chance. I don't know if it increases the chance of hitting, but I know it decreases stress. It has all kinds of other upstream effects that are good, too. Your teammates randomly take a stress heal from it. Beast Slayer's solid. I think Beast Slayer is a tier S, like, lockable quirk on every class in the game outside of, like I said, the Vestal. Even on the Vestal, I don't feel terrible. I could like play her as maybe like an off damage dealer, have her like in slot 2 and like run. What's that one item? There's an item that when she's in slot 2, she heals for 33% more, and just keep having her spam team heals, but she can't target a single person. She just can only team heal in slot 2. I think it's slot 2 where she can heal everybody, but slot 2 she can't heal one person. Is that right? Divine Grace and Divine. Yeah, I remembered. But most of the time, you don't really want her to have that ability. But looking at what is here, though, I really do think Luminous is just disgusting. I mean, what can I say? This is literally Quick Reflexes with upside, and Quick Reflexes is already tier S. Like, what do you say about Luminous? Might be the best quirk in the game, maybe. I'd have to run the numbers, and by that I mean I don't have a clue what I'm talking about with the numbers. But what I'm saying is, like, just based off of my gut feeling, this is disgusting. I can't imagine a quirk. You can't really ask for much more than Luminous. Wheeled Phobe is whatever. That can easily be gotten rid of. I would literally lock both of these. I'm taking this guy, for sure. Slugger is hilarious. This character never attacks. Slugger is one of those abilities you would want on... You would want Slugger on the Abomination, on the Crusader, and on the Leper. And honestly, on the Leper and on the Crusader, you could argue that defensive things like Thick-Blooded and Clotter... Thick-Blooded being the one that helps you against Blight, and Clotter being the one that's really good against Bleed. I'd rather have those on those characters, because they're so high in health, and they already deal a decent amount of damage already. I don't think they need extra damage to melee. But the reason I mentioned those two characters as well as the Abomination, whereas the Abomination really would like Slugger, the Abomination, again, with Rake, with just extra damage on top of a raw ability that's growing. I really do like it. And then you throw in the Occultist, and he's stripping any protection they have, and he's dealing enormous, just silly amounts of damage, and it's stacking. I think Slugger's solid on the 3 characters I just mentioned. It's obviously okay on other classes like the Hellion. Serviceably decent on like the Shieldbreaker. The Shieldbreaker is one of those characters who I'd much rather have like armor, not armor penetration, but like like speed and like first round crit, or like things like hot to trot, just so I can just kill something instantly. But I think that Slugger's pretty solid also on the bounty hunter. Slugger, otherwise, I don't know how many other characters I would actually want to run it on. There's not a lot of other characters I think I'd like. Slugger's fine again on the bounty hunter. I don't like it on the man-at-arms. The man-at-arms is too defensive to warrant that. Dud hitter. Dud hitter's terrible. And then Ruins Explorer is hilarious. Extra scouting chance in the Ruins is not trivial, because this character likes being in the Ruins. She is better in the Ruins because she's got unholy hating abilities, even though she didn't get the chance of using that often. Like, this Hand of Light is such a weird ability. You have to be in slot 2. This feels really strange to put this character in slot 2, because if you put her in slot 2, you have to run Hand of Light and like Divine Comfort for sure. You can't use Divine Grace, which is weird. Dazzling Light you can use, of course, and then you can't use Judgment. You can use Mace Bash, which is weird because it's like, why would I want to use Mace Bash when I could just use Hand of Light? Right, look. Damage modifier is nothing. This one's damage modifier is minus 50%. So this deals full damage to it. But this also increases her damage every time she uses it. It just keeps increasing her damage. It's not an ability most people even know exists. Like, how many people have ever used this ability, like, really on this class? But the ability to, like, hit an enemy, deal damage, and then on herself increase her subsequent damage over and over and over, and she just keeps hitting it and it keeps on stacking in a long fight could make her a good slot 2 against like specific bosses, particularly things like the Necromancer. Like, having her in slot 2 and like starting off by going Hand of Light, Hand of Light, Hand of Light, because at the beginning of a fight against like somebody like the Necromancer does almost no damage early. Necromancer just stands there and then summons something. And if you start the beginning of the fight, have like an Abomination behind, or Abomination like in the front slot, she's in the second slot, or the Abomination's in the third slot, hasn't switched forms, and he manacles and stuns the Necromancer before he gets the chance to even attack, before he gets the chance to summon his first thing. She gets to start the fight off by Hand of Lighting something, increases her raw damage, and then she does it again. And then she does it again, then she just never misses for the rest of the fight, and she's just hitting and hitting and hitting and dealing extra damage on Unholy. I think this could really tear up a few bosses at the Ruins. So she would be very good at the Ruins with this specific set of skills. I just don't know if we're really at a stage in the game where I care that much about that. The only character I'm truly, obviously insta-locking is Vupon. Vupon. Man, the only complaint I have about this game is these names. I'm getting better at French, apparently. Already sorted them. Let's sort them by level. No, sort them by class, because I want to see if I have... How many cultists do I have? I think I only have one, right? Yeah. He's Vini, who's level 4. And he had Early Riser, which is good, and he had Hard Noggin, which is solid. Balance, I don't really care about. Rizzling, I don't care about. He had Scientific, which I was okay with locking, but he also has Cave Phobe, which feels really, really bad on this character, because this dude is really good at the cave, considering that they're all Eldritch. Necromania is also terrible. I don't like that. I locked that on him. So it's funny, because earlier we took Peace Vini over Sinless whenever we had a choice of who to bring back from the dead, because we saw inside of the Stagecoach that we had an extra slot. I'm sorry, we saw that we had an extra Flagellant rolling up that had actually decent abilities, but we didn't have another Occultist, and I think we already had a Flagellant, and then we had another one that we had rolled, so I was like, I guess we'll take Peace Fiend, plus he was one higher level than Sinless, but now, in retrospect, that might have changed how we felt if I'd known all this. Can I increase the size of my Stagecoach? Nope, no more. I'm at 25 max. I gotta cull somebody if I'm gonna take him. Is there somebody that I don't like? Hippocratic's fine. Clutch Hitter's goofy. I do like Natural Eye, though. I like Natural Eye, and I like... Yeah, that's Natural Eye is good on this character. Extra accuracy for range skills. Literally her bread and butter. I could drop Renee. He has no abilities we like, and we brought him specifically... Yeah, he's our go-to. He's the person we drop. He's got Crimson Curse. Hard Skinned is irrelevant on a character that's heavy into dodge. Hippocratic does literally stark nothing on him. Lurker, more damage when the torch is below. We literally don't want that. We literally have been running with, where's that item at? The Bright Tambourine the entire time on him, so Lurker has literally never triggered once. Skilled Gambler is irrelevant. We haven't put him into Will Tactician. None of these are good, and all of these are bad. He's the obvious. Plus, he's got the Crimson Curse. Get rid of this guy. I know it feels weird. He's level 3, but I don't care. He's gone.
Send this one to journey elsewhere, for we have need of sterner stock.
That's an easy. I would do that every day. I do it over and over again, honestly.
To fight the abyss, one must know it.
It makes me think of kind of like a Friedrich Nietzsche kind of like, you know, quote. That's what that sounds like. The whole like stare into the abyss long enough and you'll see the abyss stare back at you. I do want to start locking quirks. It's just unfortunate that we haven't really had enough money in Windfall to do that. We did that a little cheekily at the beginning of this playthrough, and I did that with my my Grave Robber. How come my Grave Robber wasn't one of the people who we got the chance to bring back? It was Center Pawn. Was her name? Center Pawn, whatever. Remember that character because she died against the Sonorous Prophet because he dropped the ceiling on us, killed her. Like, just started the mission, dropped the ceiling on her, next hit, immediately killed her on Death's Door. I was like, what do you do? I mean, the chance of him hitting her was 2 and 4 whenever he did the ceiling thing. Actually, it's less than that because he could target one person, he could target 2. He targeted 2, it happened to be her. Then he dropped on her. And then he went to drop it again, and when he dropped on her, you have a 67% chance to survive the Death's Door hit check. She got hit again. I was like, what do you do? Actually, that was really bad generally. Every time he dropped somebody on Death's Door, they died instantly. We never got lucky on a Death's Door whenever he dropped the ceiling. We did dodge one of his other abilities though when we were on Death's Door, so I can't complain that much, and we still won that mission. But man, did it traumatize me a little bit. Alright. Yeah, I think what I'll probably do here is call it for the night. I don't really need to continue on here. It's midnight and I do have a day job, so I'm probably gonna get off here. But I think for tomorrow, because I'm gonna play for the next like 3 days, I think I'll probably play through the weekend. I'm probably gonna do a big push this weekend, and I think I'm gonna try to I'm gonna probably tomorrow night. One of the first things we'll do is probably take out the Insulet Flesh. It's not the first thing we're gonna do because I already had the Berserk Mask. Let's get a quick idea ahead of time what we'll do here. Bullseye Bandana is solid on the Arbalist. Yep, solid item. Extra crit. That's solid. We could justify that pretty easily. The Moon Ring is fine, but again, built around specifically the night build, and we're not doing that. Like I said before, you have to have a critical mass of items to make the playing torchless even worth it. It's a very weird way of playing the game, and very unique, very cool, but very weird. And you have to. It's like parasitic. It's a term for Magic the Gathering. Basically, what that means is all the items, or I guess technically trinkets, that work with the torch being below a certain amount work with all the other items that do that same thing, but they don't work with items that don't do that. I guess they kind of do, but I guess it's not actually a fair assessment. There are items that work when the torch is above a certain amount, and they work with the items that have no torch-related activity at all. And there are items that work when the torch is below a certain amount, and they also work with all the items that have no torch-related effects at all. But they don't work with each other. So scratch what I said there, that's just wrong. But it does create a situation where you want, unlike the torch items, most of the time, in a vacuum, suppose you don't know at all what items you have, right? You have no idea what items you have in your inventory. You're probably going to want the torch to be high. Because having the torch higher is just generally better. Because you're more safe. If I told you that you had items that had torch-related activities to them, or torch-related lines to them, you would hope that they all synergize, right? They're either both going to synergize, they're going to be disparate and work on opposite sides, or they're both going to be when the torch is low, or you're going to have some mix where it's one of, non-torch related and one is torch related. In the situation where they're both good torch related in the light, obviously you're going to want it light. If they're both dark, you're going to want it dark. If one is light and one is not related to torch, then you're going to want the torch up whenever the other situation is whatever. But the problem is you have to remember it as well. In the early game, when the torches are lower, crits can just instantly lose you the run. There's no real safety net. There's no real way back. Whereas at the further the game goes on, there's way more crits, way more stress, way more whatever thing. But there's so many ways to pull yourself back from perdition. When your character's about to die, there's so many ways to we just saw that a little bit ago. I had a guy that was on 95 stress, I think it was my leper, and we got him down to 0 by the end of the mission. Everybody left with no stress at all. The further you get into the game, the more there are meaningful ways of actually offsetting those things. In the early game, 25 stress is insane. It's a lot of stress. Later in the game, you get 25 stress by stepping on a trap and then get rid of it in two rounds, or a round and a half, or less than that. I mean, you can recover 15 stress just from like the clown banjo, the jester's lute, you know. Candle of Life is awful, possibly tied with the old Holy Orders, in my opinion, for one of the worst items in the game. My God. Plus 50% healing skills, plus 15% max HP on the Antiquarian. Now let's just talk about why that item's bad. This character's max HP is terrible. So that item gives a resounding 1.5 max health. I'm sorry, that's bad math. It's 15% of 10, which would be 1.5. So it gives a resounding 3 health. That item gives 3 base extra health. And then it increases her heal by 50%. What's her heal? Fortifying Vapors. Her heal heals for a max of 2. So it heals for 3. This item is literally a trap. I mean, no circumstance ever where it's good. Your character could roll every single perk or every quirk in the game that was positive to maxing out her max health. You could give her, I don't know, is it Barristan's head? No, this gives protection. You could give her whatever item you can think of that gives her max health. You could give her Tough Ring. I don't care. Candle Life is terrible. I would literally go into a mission without an item on her on one slot, then put that on her. And I mean that seriously, because at least in that case, there's a chance she can pick up a random item and throw it on her, and you get to go home with extra treasure. This item literally does nothing. No way. Awful item. If it had said the reverse of that, like plus 50% max HP and plus 50% to her healing skills or something, you might be like, oh, of course, then you'd use it. I mean, 50% HP is insane. Is it, though, on this character? 10 health? I'd much rather just say, like, plus 20 dodge. You know, something that she actually would care about. This is a terrible item. What a joke. Which, I mean, I'm not going to knock the designers of the game. I mean, realistically, a lot of these items are like a critical hit in terms of design. They're fantastically designed. There's so many cool designs in this game. And I also like the idea of like creating weird items that, you know, there's not obviously set meta. They just kind of throw things out there and just let things fall where they do. It's like, oh, is this a good item? I don't know. Is this a bad item? I don't know. Let's figure it out. That's really cool. But when the dust settles, after playing the game for a little while, you read this item and you're like, what does this thing do? Like, literally nothing. I think Bloodthirst Ring is pretty bad. Extra food consumed, minus 100% food consumed. You're like, oh, I don't have to eat with this character. I only use 3 food whenever I you know, like when my team eats. Instead of eating 4, they eat 3. Okay, I guess. And after a few runs ago where we had the guy with tapeworm, you might be like, you needed that, huh? Yeah, fair enough. But plus 10% max HP, minus food consumed, minus 20%. If that said plus 25% healing received, maybe it'd be good instead of minus 25%. Because they're trying to put a cost on it. Because they're like the first 2 abilities are good enough that here's the cost. I don't even think the first 2 abilities are that good. Minus food consumption? What is that? Well, that barely does anything. That's not a combat-oriented thing. It's not that important at all. Really, a lot of times, like where that thing shines is on a long mission. Because then you get to, like, you know, can use the ability to trigger it multiple times. But at that point, every item can be used that way. Every single item in the game is better the longer you get to use it. So what does that even mean? I just mean it gets to trigger multiple times because you get to, you know, sleep multiple times. Theoretically. Have multiple hunger checks, so it wouldn't be that bad. I don't know. Coven Ring, or Coven Signet. We talked about this one before. Minus 25% stress if they have the Crimson Curse is weird. I talked about why. Because most of the time, whenever you have a character who has the Coven Ring, it's your teammates that are going to get stressed out, not the person with the Crimson Curse, because they have act outs where they'll say something and freak everybody else out on the team. This is a weird item. I feel like it should be like something else, like, you know, minus 10 max a damage for the character. All teammates get minus 10% stress from all sources, and it's like, you know, some kind of a ring that keeps the curse at bay. I'm imagining like a vampire who's like wearing a ring that's weakening them, and the team feels better that they could probably overtake the vampire if the vampire went bad. and so it decreases their stress a little bit, kind of indirectly, but also decreases the vampire strength. I don't know. Just trying to think of a way of actually making that a decent item. It's just not that good. Moon ring we just talked about. Was that over here? Yeah, we already talked about that. Longevity eye patch. Funny item. Okay, I guess. Yeah, I really think the only item that's even worth talking about for this next playthrough, the only item on this list that I would even remotely... Farmstead. Rampart Shield's good. Rampart Shield essentially says you are playing the Man-at-Arms specifically for Rampart, which I guess is literally what the item's named, right? Rampart Shield? Yeah, it makes the Rampart ability actually good. Rampart as an ability is like base ability. Melee has the chance of knocking the enemy back one spot. It also moves your character forward one spot, right? So your guy like leans forward, it uses the Rampart Shield, like it gets him to move a forward slot. It has 90% chance to hit. It's very low chance to deal any damage, and high chance of crit, or like a pretty decent crit modifier, which is interesting. But it knocks the enemy back, stuns them, and then you use this item, and then it makes that's the 40% movement skill chance. It almost guarantees they're going to get moved back, and almost guarantees the stun will land. But it makes him deal even less damage. So he's going to become a stun bot. But again, we've seen like items like this before. It's wild to me that this item exists, and you compare it to something like the Broken Key, which again, 30% stun skill chance, 35% stun skill chance, plus 40% move skill chance, plus 15 accuracy. Minus damage, though, for some reason. Plus stress. This is not even in the same league as the Broken Key. The Broken Key is a head and shoulders above the Rampart Shield. No way. Rampart Shield's cute, but I'm not impressed by it. The item I really do think, though, that the Bullseye Bandana is solid. Extra accuracy, extra crit. That's exactly what you want on a character who is a marksman. So that'll probably be where we go next time when we come in. Although one downside to this mission, so my least favorite kind of mission, it's one of those missions where you have to gather resources, like grain sacks, which means that we have to waste 3 slots. When the mission ends, we're going to have 3 slots that are filled with junk instead of actual treasures, which sucks. Worst mission type in the game. I'm okay with the ones where you have to give them away or empty them out of your inventory, because then you have more space for treasures as the mission progresses. But yeah, these ones kind of suck. Although on the other hand, it does make it very easy to figure out what you're going to cull from your inventory, because you're like, this is 1,700 gold, take it. Am I going to keep this one, random bandage? Nope, not this time. I'm not even going to chance. I know I'm not going to have space for it. So anyway, yeah, I think that's going to be it for me for tonight. I'm not going to spend any more time talking, because I'm not going to play. And the more time I sit here and talk, anything else I say, I'm going to be saying that's going to be exciting about the game. That's going to make me want to play more, which is not a good idea right now. It's a little late at night for me to be thinking about playing. It's already past midnight. So, but yeah, that's going to be it for me for tonight. I will be playing the next 2, maybe even 3 nights if I play through Sunday, and just kind of like rolling through. I'll probably be grinding through, trying to finish at least the probably 2 or 3. Hopefully I'll get through at least 1, maybe 2 bosses of tier 2. That's my goal, to kind of get through there, because I'm gonna have to probably level a few guys up to get there. We will see what happens, but I'm looking forward to that, because then you finally start to see like the bosses get to use their abilities more. Maybe we'll actually get the chance to see what the hag does instead of just rolling over her like nothing. And the bosses start to get more challenging. I get to start using parts of the game we've kind of, not want to say wholesale ignored, but we really haven't touched on any of the camping skills and like choosing them and optimizing them. We really haven't got the chance to do a lot with a farmstead. We haven't got the chance to see some of the bosses from the Crimson Curse. There's still a lot of stuff to do, a lot of random events, a lot of cool things that can happen. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully you are too. So, but thanks again for your time. Until next time on the Blue Titan. And if you want to see more content like this, you can always go to the Blue Titan Space Gaming. That's the Blue Titan Gaming, and that will have highly edited content, shorts, things like that for discovery. It's a faster paced environment. I don't know if I'll be releasing more content for this game yet on that channel. I haven't decided. The main reason for that is because I'm really on that channel learning what works and what doesn't, and by my estimation right now, this game doesn't do well in the discovery part of YouTube because it's a little older now. It's like 2016 release, and also my content's a little like a longer form, and I just don't know if this is really the right game for that. I've been thinking about what I want to do with that, but I am certainly going to play through it and continue playing it, so it will certainly end up on my VODs channel where I play it long form, because I just love this game. It's really, I'm playing this for the love of the game, not for the views. I like this game. That's why I'm here for it. So, but again, back to the other comment. If you want to see more longer form content, me talking long form like this, where I just ramble, talk about the game, talk about strategy, talk about random stuff, like I guess AI, I talked about that for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes earlier in this video. You can head over to the Blue Titan Space Gaming Space VODs, or the Blue Titan Gaming VODs. which will have full content, no edits, the full ugly. It even has the moments where I'm turning the camera on and trying to get everything straight, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on, all that stuff. You can laugh at me when I'm trying to figure out what's going on, what's going wrong, and troubleshooting. Like the beginning of this video, I messed up, and I was like recording and was doing my intro, and I was talking, and I still had YouTube playing, and I hadn't checked to see if it was, usually I check to see if it's working or not, and I still had it on, so I was like, hey guys, welcome back, I'm the Blue Titan, and it was like, hey guys, welcome back, hey guys, welcome back, hey guys, and I was like, so if you want to see that kind of stuff, you can see me screw up a few times. So, but yeah, that's gonna be it. I appreciate your time. Till next time, keep your torches lit and keep your stress low.